may be racist, right?
Yeah.
I want to make sure I save
You
that.
agree that jury sentence,
Sorry. Hold on a
jury
second. There you
jury bias may be a thing?
I don't know enough about it.
All right. Do you agree that police, the Department of Justice Studies, and that's just them, came to the conclusions that there was racial bias in those police department forces?
I believe your word that they said that.
I'll link
I
it.
believe
Hello,
you.
anyone who might be here,
I
by the
haven't read
way.
study, but I believe you.
I'm just setting up the stream, and I was already listening to Jake's,
Ferguson,
and I wanted to
Baltimore,
continue
Chicago.
listening while I set it up.
Study,
So,
okay.
just hang out in here for a little bit while
You
I set
believe
everything
that
up,
redlining happened.
and
You
then we'll
believe
get to
that
the
this-
sovereign
yeah,
citizen stuff. But he's watching a pretty interesting thing right now.
Redlining is
So,
the reason why project houses are still here today.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so that's the after effects of those racist policies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And so all of those things combined. Oh, and also school funding. You believe that school funding is funded by property taxes, which is directly linked to low-income housing areas.
Well,
And that's
school
that-
funding isn't only funded by property
majority.
taxes.
Majority.
Yeah.
Yeah, majority.
On average. Yeah.
Okay, and that's directly linked to racist policies in the past.
Yeah.
And you still say systemic
Ramble
racism
was just a
is
gorilla.
not prevalent today.
I'm not saying that we're
Thanks
not
for following,
living in an
Trevor.
era where we are still suffering from the effects of systemic racism of the past. We are, but we are not living in a place where systemic racism exists today.
Oh my
What we have to do is fix.
that's so
What
stupid.
we have to do is fix poverty.
We're dealing with the results
we
of
have to do is
systemic racism. It just
foster
doesn't exist anymore.
so
That's
that
the
people can work
dumbest
hard to get
position
out
I
of their
think I've ever
places.
heard.
We have to give as many people.
Hi,
to
I
give,
see some people are here already. I'm just setting
childcare
stuff up for the
low
stream, and I
income-
was already
low-income
listening to
families. We have to
Jake's
foster
stream,
education.
so-
We have to foster the family unit.
I figured.
Why
I'd
are
put-
you
I'd
on the
put it
fence for voting for
we
a
have to do
Republican
that.
then? Just because you did the bad touch and people don't like you, you're like, "Nah, you can't me too me. I'm gonna fucking vote for Trump then." Nah. Fuck you. Take accountability. Isn't one of your things they gotta take fucking accountability for their actions, David? How about you take a fucking accountability for your sexual proclivities with or without consent, allegedly? Wink. David, how about you fucking do that shit?
Oh God.
Notice how Silverman is not even giving a black man he is debating the benefit of the doubt when he talks about facts.
I agree. Thank you for the $3. I appreciate you.
To fund a shit ton of public federal money into low-income schools. That will help. That's good.
Hello,
But
DM
that's
Trey,
not-
Jovian,
to say
Dakic,
that we
Cotton
have a
Candy
racist
903.
society,
Welcome.
even after we've gotten rid of everything which made us a racist society, just creates a victim class, a perpetual.
We're
victim
watching
class.
Jake watch
If
a
we had
stream.
racist
You're
society
watching me
and we
watch
got rid
Jake
of
watch a
everything that made us
stream.
racist society,
That's a
now we
very,
have to
very
do what we
strange
can to get
situation.
poor
The
people
future
not to
is
be poor
stupid.
anymore. And then we'll have a happy society. That's how we
I am
fix
feeling
this.
better
If we-
today.
if we
Thanks
say,
for
okay, well,
asking.
we can't fix the
Yeah,
school- the
David's
school.
being
We
a
can't put
moron
money into the
here.
schools
What
until
is
we first
wrong
admit
with him?
That this is all about racism and that white people have been really fucking over the black people for these past 100
You
years.
gotta stop that, though. You gotta
Well,
stop
but
that,
that's-
man. That's
well, where am I wrong?
That's the type
That's
of
what
shit.
you said,
That's
though.
the type of shit I'd be like, yo, this dude's racist. Like that's the type of shit.
No,
right
but
there.
that's what you just said.
Dog, never once have I said white people this. All have I said there are
You
systems
said
in
we-
place that disproportionately affect black people. And then I also conceded, because you made the point that black judges also incarcerate black folks at a high rate. And what did I say?
Get 'em.
I said black folks have been used in this system in
There's
of
nothing
white
funny
supremacy
about the
to
tools
push
of
that narrative
capitalism.
for millennia. That is not
Yeah,
that is not white man
or
bad,
those
black man
judges
good.
aren't
Rewatching
anybody's
Loving the
tools,
Bad
and they're
Man.
just doing things on their own.
No
Why would you
shit.
watch
What
that
I'm
movie
saying
more
is they
than once?
perpetuate the system, and what you keep doing is
Oh,
propping
the
up
review.
Black versus white.
Okay, I
Black
get
and
that.
white issues, not black-
This is God of the gaps, man. You're
What?
just doing whatever you can. You are just doing whatever you can.
I'm
to keep
combating
your
your.
narrative.
I'm
This is-
combating
No,
your.
this
How
is
is-
your confirmation bias.
how is-
I'm
confirmation-
showing you. Please.
In what way is that God of the Gaps?
Where the term
Wait,
Uncle
wait.
Tom came from? You know where that came from?
Yeah, the Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Yes,
right?
he actually was an Uncle Tom, but the trope carried it over, right? And what it was the trope of a black man in a house.
All right,
right?
watching
And
a
the house
stream
was
within
the
a
house
stream
of
within a
slave and
stream.
field slave.
Yeah.
If I'm saying shit you already know, stop me.
No, please.
Anyway,
Okay, there's a house
I guess
full-
we should
a house
probably.
slave and a field slave.
Jake
The
is
house-
watching
the
this
house
if you'd
slave
like to
and
watch
the
that.
field slave
But
was
we're gonna do
okay?
sovereign citizen stuff. I just wanted to listen to that while I was setting stuff up for the stream. Watching Hannah, watching Jake, who was watching a stream. Yeah, it's a debate Arian did or is doing with
nothing
David
funny about the
Silverman,
tools of
who's being
capitalism.
a moron, who is admitting that like systematic racism is something that affects people, but is claiming that it doesn't exist. It's very strange. The mental gymnastics necessary to believe that that makes sense are mind-boggling. Anyway, how are you holding up with Baja gone? Well, good news. She actually is in the other room right now. So I'm doing all right today. She surprised me and came down today, and she's going to be staying the weekend, so that's nice. She's doing a conference right now while I'm streaming that's related to her work. But then, yeah, we'll have the weekend to hang out, which will be nice, for sure. She can't blast during this stream because she's busy right now doing an online conference thing. But this weekend, yeah, she could potentially blast. Yeah. She is in the chat, however, multitasking. David got so mad at Arian implying he was racist. Yeah, people who are racist tend to get mad when you call them out on it. It's very weird like that. Hello, philosophy light. Is that it? Philosophy light. Philosophy light. We can hear Baja blasting in the other room.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Cotton Candy 903, Streamception. Yeah. Xandris, thank you for your subscription. 5-month streak. Let's get sovereign. Yeah. So today I pulled up. There's a whole subreddit full of sovereign citizen stuff. It's called Am I Being Detained? So we might watch some of the greatest hits from there. And of course, as usual, we have some sovereign citizen stuff. And then we might pepper in some Karens too. Just for some variety. But then it'll be a good time. By the way, if you haven't already, I'm sure most of you have, but subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have 2.16 thousand subscribers, which is pretty good so far.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Daddy Sume with a bit Karen. Yeah, I got the Karens. Weirdly, and this is true, I was just going to do Sovereign Citizens, and I went, Daddy Sume is going to ask me to do Karens. I better throw that in there. DM Trey, thank you for continuing your gift sub. Comrade Devin, thank you for subscribing with Twitch Prime. We are on, Hype Train. Very nice. We're at 95% of a Hype Train level 1. Cool. So what else? During the Hype Train, let's watch Jake for a little bit again. Just because I don't want to start the Sovereign Citizens while we're doing the Hype Train because it gets distracting.
Capitalism yields that. I was asking you if communism does.
But what does that have to do with capital? We're not talking about communism.
Get him.
Well, if you're
There's
saying
nothing
that
funny about the
capitalism
tools
is
of
bad,
Cotton Candy
capitalism.
now 3 with
fine.
100 bits.
I'm
Woo,
asking if
hype.
Communism
Thank you.
does too.
That's
I think it's a fair question.
that's not.
Because, of course, we're going back to the whole Marxist thing from Black Lives Matter.
No, I don't want to go back to that.
Marxist thing.
Oh, so, but you do admit that communist regimes can do some pretty shitty things, right? They can
Anything,
be
anybody
horrible
can do
criminals.
anything. Anybody
Right,
can do
right.
anything.
There's nothing funny about the
Ju-
tools
it's
of
just-
capitalism.
There's the first hat for the Hype
My whole
Train.
point is if you look at
Daddy Sume, Hannah, this is
David
why I
Silverman is
prefer
so
you.
fucking
You don't
stupid.
belittle me. Jake is great, but you is best.
God, I can't.
Well,
I
I'm
can't
glad.
fucking stand him,
Thanks.
dude.
literally war crimes that go
Spent the
on.
morning
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
convince Jake to
All
watch
countries do
Puffin
that.
Forest.
There's
What's
nothing funny
Puffin
about the tools
Forest?
of
What's
capitalism.
your point?
That was my point.
David doesn't
Okay,
seem to
so-
understand what
so
makes
yes,
something
countries do
systematic.
bad
Yeah, I
things
don't.
in
I kind of
countries.
wish Arian would have him define what he thinks
that
systematic
happens, it happens
means
in
when
all
we're talking
countries.
about like
Okay, bro.
systematic racism or
issues-
whatever.
That which is in the
Oh, he's
in
a
the
D&D
macro
YouTuber?
is in the micro.
Okay.
That's all gangs are. I think you think gangs are just running.
Oh,
around
he's the
shooting
guy
people
that
for
did
no
that
reason.
video
That's not
absurd.
what
Yeah,
it is.
he's
They're
a
fighting
funny
for
guy.
Territory, they're fighting for land, and they're fighting for resources.
Yeah.
And
This
they're
is
killing people.
So are we.
Aha. So what
How
you're
is it
saying that
different?
the government of the United States is equal in morality to the gangs of New York and Los Angeles.
What I'm saying is that
Actually, they're fucking way worse than the gangs of LA or New York.
which is in the macro is also in the micro. They're fighting for. The
Arian did
exact
ask
same
him that.
thing.
Okay, I
This is
missed
in
that
the
part.
Nothing funny about
Cotton
the
Candy
tools of
903 with 10
capitalism.
bits. This guy just seems too stupid to understand what he's talking
He
about.
said that George Bush
Wrong
and-
form of
and
two.
gangbanger
But
in
yeah,
South Los Angeles
I don't
just
know.
speak the
David
same language.
Silverman's
They're saying the
gone
same things, and they're
completely
doing
off
the
the
same
rails
thing.
the past
Those gang
however
members
many
that you
years.
just-
Or I guess he
There's
probably
nothing funny
always
about the
was,
tools
but
of
he just has
capitalism.
revealed more
Come
of
out of
himself
gangs,
as time
too.
has gone on.
There's a lot of community
Not
organizations,
that
there's a lot of
fragile with
community
100
cleanup,
bits.
there's a
Changed
lot
my
of good that
username a
goes
while
on.
ago and
Am I saying
finally
that
have
gang
the money to
organizations are
resub
net
now.
positive
Also,
for
here's
black
some
folks?
gift
No.
subs, chat.
But to discount the good that
I'm
they do
assuming
in the
that'll
community,
pop
There's
up in a
nothing funny
second.
about the tools of
Freaking out
Trevor.
99. Is that
I
a
had a
fedora?
completely
If so, I
different opinion of
request a
David
tipping
Silverman
of the
before this
fedora. I don't know what
Boy,
this
am I
is.
happy.
It's just some kind of
I
purple
don't-
hat
see,
someone
this is the
sent
thing.
me.
I
Not
don't like
that
David
fragile.
Silverman,
Thank you for gifting
but I don't have to
10
campaign
tier 1
against
subs.
David
Wow,
Silverman.
that's a
There's
lot
nothing
of
funny about
subs.
the tools
Thank
of
you.
capitalism.
You make your own decision, which correctly is David Silverman is a piece of dog shit. Yeah, this adds up. This is exactly the way it should be.
Did not
As
that
the
fragile
Lord
just become
intended.
the
There's
gift
nothing
sub
funny about
leader?
the tools
to
of
discount the good that
capitalism.
America
Probably.
has done is disingenuous.
Level 4
So
hype
what I'm
train.
saying is,
Woo! So I
we
need more
detest our lower class communities that are fighting over all of these.
It's not stunning to me,
resources for doing the
Flever.
exact
There's
same
nothing
things
funny about
that
the
we
tools
are
of
doing at a very
capitalism.
high scale in our government. But they're doing the exact same things. It's just legal because
Don't know what
they
that
are
means.
They are the surveyors. They are the overseers. They have the gavel.
I'm not
There's
having
nothing
too much
funny
of a
about the
problem
tools of
with
capitalism.
that
Cotton Candy 903 with
I understand
1,000
your point is,
bits. But you said take
mean,
my butts.
There's a legitimacy
I
to
will
being a
take your
country
butts.
that you don't
Thank
get from
you.
just being a gang
Wow,
in New York.
97% of level
There's
4
nothing
already.
funny about the tools of
And no, I
capitalism.
do not know
Because they hold the gavel. He literally just said that out loud.
the stories of the gang members doing good things. I don't know those stories. I only know the stories
There's
of
nothing
gang
funny about the
violence
tools of
and,
capitalism.
and death
Because you're-
and murder.
Because you're a white liberal upper class, like you've never even gone hungry, bro.
And I think all
There's
that
nothing
death and
funny
murder
about the tools of
Wind
capitalism.
Chanter with 5 bits just saw the new TBR. If Jesus can teleport boats, I have severely underestimated his power. Oh yeah, we did. That did come out today. I edited that. I should remember that that was coming out
There's
today.
nothing funny about the
Wild.
tools of
Let me see.
capitalism.
I understand your
TBR.
point that about them
Yeah,
being
okay.
a microcosm, and yes, I do.
I'm gonna
grant
upvote
your
my own
look
stuff.
with old
It's like a
eyes
circle jerk.
that
There's nothing funny about the tools of
Yeah, if you don't know,
capitalism.
there's a new Bible
is
study episode out on
And the
Hannah and
authority
Jake
of
if you're
the,
partial to that sort of stuff.
gangs. I assume would also. be
Zandil,
so
50
I see the
bits.
parallels
Thank
that you're
you.
drawing.
There's
I
nothing
just don't
funny
know
about
what
the
point is.
tools
Well,
of capitalism.
point-
I
The
think
point
your
is
point
this.
is that the lower class is vying for resources, and that the upper class is.
Comrade
aiding them
Devon
to
says
vying
I was
for
watching
resources.
Vera
That's what
Wild
you
talk to
said.
Riley the
No,
other day, and she
no,
said that when
There's nothing
what
funny about the tools of
sorry
capitalism.
said that what transphobes don't understand is that
Yes,
transphobia is
I
not so much
agree.
something
Literally
you are as it
criminalize
is
you
something
and
you
all that.
do.
So
I
in
really like
order
that.
to stop
It's the
this,
same for racism. People get offended and push
have been
back because
arguing
they
for
think
2
you're
hours now,
saying
is
something
that
about their inherent character,
racist funny
when in
about the tools of
actuality you're saying
capitalism.
something about
Even
their
saying
words and
racist is
actions which can be
triggering now. When I
changed.
said, you should
Yeah,
call me a racist,
I'm gonna
and that's
mute
what
this for a
Jordan's
second
not
while I talk
the
about
word,
this. That's a problem with media too. People have a hard time viewing their own actions or their own
There's nothing
selves
funny about
as
the tools of capitalism.
being part of racism, being part of even systematic racism, because when you look at stuff and how we represent racism in the media, it's often like almost mustache twiddling villains who are like, ah ha ha ha, I am intentionally harming a specific minority community. I'm so evil, it's because I hate them. When in reality, like racism or transphobia or homophobia or sexism, all of these things manifest themselves in their most harmful form in a much more benign way, in just inherent bias in the way that you treat people, not because you think to yourself, I hate this person, but just internally you have some sort of bias that's making you misconstrue situations or be more fearful of certain people. And people then say, oh, well, I'm not this mustache twiddling evil villain, therefore my actions can't be racist. It's a problem. It really is. It's why movies like Crash really, really suck at, like, illustrating the problems of racism as they exist in the real world.
But it has been.
There have been
learned
plenty of video essays on that.
And
how to.
and-
Go ahead.
yeah, but how much? So there's a point where
There's
where
nothing funny about the tools of
accountability comes
As
capitalism.
KD93, I always go back to
Look at
what
this
Martin
fucking
Luther King
idiot right
Jr.
here.
said
I
about
don't
white
even see
moderates. Not familiar.
Fucking way. Hold on.
Hype train. It says 100% level 4, but there's 44
you say,
seconds
okay,
left. It hasn't gotten
black
to
people
level
have
5
been
yet.
victims-
That's
Nope, maybe not.
strange. Maybe
Okay,
it needs
so what
one
this
more
says,
thing to
you can't
push it
read but
over.
I'll read it to you.
systemic racism, you're doing the Beverly D'Angelo route. You're doing the
I
Chicago
will-
route, really.
It's
I will
the
read it to you.
And-
how
and-
to.
Okay, so it says right here, you might be able to make that out. If Arian Foster, views racist as a system, why does he call Silverman a
funny about the
racist?
tools of
He makes no
capitalism.
sense.
Captain Candy 903 with 100 bits. Helping. Thank you. Level 4 complete. Let me get another hat.
Wow. Wow, dude.
Can
There's
I
nothing
wear
funny
my
about the tools
professor
of
hat
That's
on
just
top of all
fucking
these other
dumb.
hats? Not
I
that
can't believe I
fragile.
had to
Thank you for
read
gifting
that.
5
I'm so
tier 1
sad,
subs.
and I read it to you.
Wow.
I had to read it to you. Yeah. So,
This is going to get heavy
nothing
and
racist.
hot
Tools of
so
capitalism.
fast
can
with all
either
these
be
hats.
systemic or individualistic. You can't have both. There are no football teams.
Why are we
only
watching
football
Jake?
players.
Well, Jake's streaming, and I
There's nothing
wanted to
funny
do
about the tools
this
of capitalism.
while we're doing the hype train, because I was already watching this, and I'm just interested in what's going on. But then once the hype train's over, we'll get to the sovereign citizen stuff.
There's a point where
There's
Yeah,
nothing funny about
we
the
say,
tools
okay,
of capitalism.
black people have been
I wasn't gonna
victims of racism for hundreds of years, and as recently as whatever year it was that redlining went away.
1977.
There's nothing
And,
funny about the tools of capitalism.
That's the year we defeated racism.
But we have to find out where it comes into where does the raising
Gonna get a
yourself up
migraine
from
so
stress
fast, probably. I'm actually gonna turn the
I
air on
am,
because I'm
again,
already getting hot.
in full agreement with you that we have to pump money into
He literally
the lower
said
class. Okay?
bootstraps.
I'm not a fan of redistribution of wealth. I am a fan of much better education, lots of nonprofits, get people out of poverty as much as possible, as fast as possible. I do not think that racism as a system is in our system anymore. My
That's
question
so
is,
stupid. How
how
could you
much of
say
the
that?
belief-
Okay, this hat is too heavy. I gotta switch hats.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
MMO Addicted, thank you for the 50 bits, and Towing24, thank you for subbing 5-month streak.
How would we tell?
Hi
if you-
Hannah.
if I was right and you were
This
wrong?
is going to be a
Nothing
super
funny about the
cleanse
tools of
after watching
capitalism.
David Silverman go full
It's
mask off on
systemic
Jake's
racism
stream.
is
Well,
based
sorry,
on
we have this on right now.
versus
We're
something
going
else.
to turn it off in a second here.
And
The hype
what
train's
degree
done in 2.5 minutes.
is
Daddy
this-
Sume, having grown up in a
this
fairly
headwind
racist family
which
like
you were
old
talking
school
about?
Italian
Nothing
and
funny about
Irish
tools of
racism
capitalism.
in a neighborhood that
How
went
much
from
of
mostly
this
Italian
is
families to mixed race and minority dominated, I instinctively
I'll
tighten
admit
up
to
when I
this
see
much,
black
okay?
people walking
The
around at
point
night
is,
and I'm alone.
if you think it's
Though to
as
be
much
fair,
as-
there was
if you
also a
think
lot
it's
of gang
as much
activity
as
in the
this-
area. I have to
big
fight
portion
that
of-
childhood
big portion of-
programming, and
I
it's
would-
not
I would-
easy,
big
but it's
portion of the-
resistance. It's the struggle that ennobles us. I'm glad you're able to recognize your own bias that was learned in childhood. There are a lot of people who
You haven't answered the
don't
30
have the self-reflection
times
to do
change.
that. Like,
I
it
have.
sucks.
I've addressed it 3 or 4 times now. I will address it.
Okay.
You gotta keep on-
And
There's
if
nothing
you
Like,
look
it
at how
sucks
things show,
that
I look at
a lot
your
of
data
people
and
ended up
I'll have one.
learning
I'll
stuff
have
like
one.
that
Sure.
in their
And frankly, I'd like to
childhood
do
or
that.
from their
Frankly,
parents or
I'd like to do that
whoever.
because I think these,
But, like-
these debates are great.
The thing is, you
Um,
just gotta admit it
when we
and
both look at
try
each
and
other's
fix
data
it as an adult.
I
That's the
think
best
we
you
should
can do.
that. Because that way.
So what are the chances the Republicans go totally ape crap
crap
and we have a new civil war? I don't know. We'll see. My parents cannot recognize it. It's really depressing. Yeah, I bet. Bime answer with 100 bits. Thank you.
There's nothing funny
and
about
I'm
the
happy
tools
to
of
do that.
capitalism.
The problem is, and you've been here for many of this, as soon as he says X, Arian's going to be like, okay, let's contextualize that statistic. Usually it's going to be like the violent crime statistic or something like that. He goes, okay, well, let's contextualize that statistic. And what is the Department of Justice or the FBI or the
One more minute
CDC
in hype train, and
or
then we'll
whatever,
start with the
what do
sovereign
they say
citizen stuff.
causes this statistic? And David Silverman's going to be like, just like every other racist. No, it means that 36%. You can obviously see right here. That's all it means. Blah, 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 blah. We can't contextualize it. No. It's just fucking stupid.
We
No,
need
he's never
this.
gonna
What's
source
this?
He doesn't have any data
but,
at all.
Don't use in-game mechanics to
question
punish
is,
players.
how
We'll save
would
that
we
for a
quantify
cleanse.
the effect of the racism against somebody versus
There's nothing funny about the tools.
Cotton
of
Candy 903
capitalism.
with 10 bits. My dad's parents are low-key very racist, and I don't think they realize it. They're also very right-wing Christian, and I could never tell them that I'm bi, or I'll be lectured about how lack of faith has made me sinful. Old people.
I was gonna say I feel like it's a fair question.
you don't.
And I said I feel like it's a fair question.
Okay.
And I said
All right, hype train's coming to an end.
I think there's
That's
a
enough of
multiplicity
Jake's
ways
stream.
we can do that, right?
Although he is a very good streamer. I imagine everyone here is already also following Jake, but if you're not, go ahead. I've been working with Jake for almost a decade now. We've started our careers on the internet, working
nothing
together
funny
on
about the
YouTube,
tools of
which we continue to do. But we do a lot of stuff solo now on here, so go check Jake out. Not that fragile. Did you see the group of conservative protesters walking around Kentucky right now, fully armed in bulletproof vests? Last I checked, the police aren't even present. They're just letting what is essentially an armed militia walk
nothing
around
funny
town.
about the tools of
I don't even
capitalism.
like calling them a militia, right? They're a gang. If they weren't white, they would be called a gang, because that's what they are. You don't get to be a roving gang. A militia has a specific definition,
nothing
and I
funny
don't
about the
think
tools
they
of
meet it,
capitalism.
right? A militia's like a volunteer army that's been raised in your community, and that's not what they are. They're not like here to fight off some foreign enemy that's invaded the United States like Red Dawn. They're literally a gang of political individuals who are trying to push their political views on people
There's
and
nothing
scare
funny about
people
the
away
tools
from
of
protesting
capitalism.
using guns. That's a gang. MMO Addicted with 10 bits says, I actually prefer you. You're way more chill. Oh, I'm definitely chiller than Jake, that's for sure. But, you know, preferences are preferences. We do a lot of different stuff, so. DM Trey, wow, 5 months. Thank you for subscribing for 5 months. Appreciate that. Can't type today, and I'm sorry. It's okay. Feeling better today? I am feeling better today. Thank you for asking. I was in a poop mood, and I was being a dick. So, anyway. Let's see what else we got. Let's do some Sovereign Citizen stuff, shall we? So, we got this Sovereign Citizen playlist. We got this guy. This is that guy that did the weird... We spent like a whole
There's nothing
Sovereign
funny
Citizen
about the
stream
tools of
watching his
capitalism.
response to a police training video once. So we might watch something else from this guy. We got some Karen freakouts for some variety. It'll be a good stream. Cascadia93 with a bit. Sume's example is so anti of mine. I grew up in a very bleak
nothing
but
funny
slightly
about the
lower
tools
middle
of
class neighborhood.
capitalism.
It shows another whole form of lack of knowledge of what people of color go through. But I grew up thinking people of color were the coolest. I wanted to be a person of color. I was jealous that I wasn't. It wasn't until I was 6th grade-ish that I learned more and more.
There's
Yeah.
nothing funny about the
Daddy
tools
Sume
of
with a bunch of
capitalism.
traveling emotes. I didn't see him come up on screen. Is the emote cloud working? Huh. MMO Addicted, you are subdued and in a bad mood, but that doesn't make you a dick. You can have bad mental health days. Well, thank you. Let me do some of these to see if the... Okay, yeah, it is working. Cool. I just didn't see him the first time. Anyway, let's do some Sovereign
That's right,
Citizen stuff.
capitalistic propaganda.
Snake of Truth, thank you for following. Let's do this one.
I don't. I just bought the car, actually.
Okay, well, you can't be driving on the road without insurance or license or registration.
Okay, so we got another person who's driving around or probably traveling, and they're doing so without a license or insurance, which is illegal.
That's not.
That's state law. So you can record me all you want.
Mhm.
You need a license.
Okay.
So if you're just so sovereign citizen,
I don't need the license to travel, sir.
You do.
Oh, he said it. That was wow. We're not even 30 seconds in, and we got a traveling.
License to travel.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do. The state of Illinois requires you to have a license anytime you operate a motor vehicle. It's in state law. You can look it up yourself.
This is my private property. I'm operating.
yes. It's your property.
I'm traveling
yes,
in
but
it.
you're using a public road.
This is not prop. No, they did not. They did not make the roads For the public.
What? Yes, they. What do you think public roads are? Public roads are roads made by either the local or state government, depending on the road, or if it's like an interstate highway or a freeway or whatever, then the federal government gets involved. But like, public roads are for the public. However, the state that creates those roads allows you to use them with the understanding that you are going to follow the laws that they place upon those roads. That includes things like speed limits. Some places require you to get your car checked out every few years to make sure that it's, like, safe to be on the road. Driver's license, insurance, registration. These are all things that the government can say, hey, these roads are for the public, but you need to meet these certain standards in order to operate a vehicle on these roads. And that's perfectly fine.
I also have ownership of this vehicle.
Yes, Scott, can we get a supervisor to our traffic stop?
They're calling in a supervisor.
Right, sir. Look, I'm explaining to you what the law is. This is your private property. Yes, it is your vehicle, right? Okay.
And it also don't have to be.
On that, all right?
It don't have to be registered to the
Do
state.
you own this roadway?
This the
Who owns the roadway? Answer my question.
Don't the state do not own the roadway.
Yes, they do. What?
The state
It
owns
was the hot.
Because they maintain it as well. You know this especially well if you're in Michigan and you know they get fixed pretty regularly. I mean, it depends upon the road. I don't mean every road gets fixed regularly, but I mean road maintenance is going on all the time. Who do you think pays for road maintenance? The state does through the taxes collected from the public.
The public highways was it was built for public and commerce.
And who built them? Who do you think everyone in the community just got out one day and was like, all right, fellas and ladies, it's time to pave some road. And everyone, almost like an Amish barn raising, got out and built the public roads in one day. No, they were built and maintained by the government on behalf of the citizens.
For the public
There's nothing
and
funny about the
commerce.
tools of
Public and
capitalism.
commerce?
You wish they did better road maintenance in New England? It's not great in Michigan either. My road has needed to be repaved for a while, but it hasn't been. But, like, I'm a side street, so I'm very low priority in terms of road maintenance.
Yes,
So what are you doing?
I'm using it as for the public.
The public?
Yes,
Okay, so you're on a public. We agree you're on a public roadway then.
it's public. It's
Okay.
it's for the public
There's
and
nothing funny about
for
the
the
tools of
you know what I'm saying
capitalism.
for people that's on
Pittsburgh, city of potholes.
and commerce.
Okay. All right. So we're in agreement that this is your private property, your vehicle, but you're on a public roadway, correct?
This is not a vehicle. This is my private property.
This is not a glass of water. This is my private property. I'm not drinking. I'm letting the fluid travel down my esophagus.
A vehicle. Listen,
Explain to me
There's
your
nothing
definition
funny
of a
about
vehicle.
the tools of
a
capitalism.
vehicle is one who get.
MMO addicted with 10 bits. Man, you folks really need to come to Eastern Europe or like Ukraine to see what really bad roads look like. No, I don't think I will. I believe you.
There's nothing funny about the tools
The
of
closer I get
capitalism.
to Eastern Europe, the higher chance that I'll run into Tate, and I'd really rather not do that. Not That Fragile says, I can't even tell you how many Karens have been complaining lately that the state is
There's
using
nothing
public
funny about
funds
the
to
tools of
repave the roads and
capitalism.
freeway in my town. The roads are literally covered in potholes, and Karens are still upset that they're getting taxed for repairs. Do they not use the roads? Cotton Candy 903, what does he think a car is? What you gotta understand about sovereign citizens is when they say, this is not a car or this is not a motor vehicle, this is my private property, or when they say something to that effect, they're not, they're not stupid. They're not that stupid. They know that what they're driving is colloquially known as a car.
There's nothing funny about
It's
the
just
tools of
that they
capitalism.
believe that if they don't call it that, then legally it won't be considered as such. They're wrong, of course, and that in and of itself is incredibly stupid. But it's not like they literally don't think they're driving a car. They just think that the law is a series of magic words that you use, and if you use the correct series of words, you can get away with breaking the law. Like, that's
There's
the
nothing funny about the
linchpin
tools
of a
of
lot of their
capitalism.
philosophy. It's wrong, but it makes more sense once you understand where they're coming from. Cascadia 93 is someone who's from Montana. I laugh at you all. I've never seen a road, only snow-covered
There's
pavement
nothing
and
funny about the
gravel.
tools of capitalism.
Hannah, look at this is Pittsburgh potholes, and then freaking out 99 Schrodinger's car. Sinkhole bus returns to service, but road remains closed. Well, that's a sinkhole. That's a different thing. Sinkholes aren't potholes. They're a completely different thing.
If you get compensated, there's no one in here with me.
Compensated?
Yes,
What do you
some
mean
type of
compensated?
fare, some type of, in the Black Laws Dictionary.
Black Laws Dictionary?
Yes,
Okay.
the Black Laws Dictionary.
There's nothing funny about the tools of
A
capitalism.
vehicle is basically one who gets hired.
I know.
No, it's not. He's referencing Black's Laws Dictionary, I think 2nd or 3rd edition. It's from 1930s. Of course, there have been many editions since then. I think they're on either the 9th or the 11th edition. I don't remember. Anyway, first of all, a legal dictionary is not the law, right? Like, if you're in court and you're trying to argue something, you don't cite Black's Law Dictionary. You can use Black's Law Dictionary in your research if you want a greater understanding of a certain law or what certain verbiage might mean. But you wouldn't say to the judge, well, Black's Law Dictionary defines such and such as, because that's not how law works. Black's Law Dictionary is supposed to be descriptive, not like prescriptive, right? Secondly, Black's Law Dictionary, the edition that gets cited by these people constantly, what it says is one being employed in operating a motor vehicle. They believe that the term employed in this context means you have been hired to do a job with the vehicle, when that's not what it means. You can be employed in anything. I am employed in doing a stream right now, but that's not because I'm being paid for it. It's because employed can mean doing something, in the process of doing something. That's what employed means in the context of the Black's Law Dictionary edition that they're referencing. So it's a complete misreading of not even a law, but a definition in an outdated law dictionary that they're misinterpreting in the first place. It's absolutely bizarre.
I just want to know.
Oh, I ain't got no guns. I ain't got no
Well, I'm
drugs.
saying you are, but you do have to provide a driver's license to operate a
I
motor
don't
vehicle.
have to give you a driver's license if I haven't committed a crime.
That's not true. That's not true. Most states, I actually don't know. Let's see what the stop and identify states are. Stop and identify. I'm pretty sure in all states, if you're in a traffic stop, then you have to provide your license. In terms of not being in a vehicle, I'm not sure where stop and identify is and is not legal. Stop and identify states. So the red states are stop and identify. In these states, which looks to be just estimating about half of the states in the country or so, maybe a little under, maybe a little over, I don't know, I'm not going to sit and count them. In those states, if a cop sees you and they go, hey, I need to see your ID, you have to provide it for them. Otherwise, I think they need, like, justifiable cause or something. I don't know the exact standard. But, like, in a traffic stop, pretty much always you have to provide your license. I think always in the United States.
You said I'm committing a crime by traveling without a license. Am I correct?
Or at the very least, sometimes people, for instance, in a traffic stop forget their driver's license or something legitimately, not like in a fake, oh, I forgot it, but I really don't have it way. A lot of the time, they can also look up your license on their computer, though you're really supposed to have your ID on you when you're driving anyway, but...
It's not a crime. I'm saying that anytime you operate a motor vehicle...
Probable cause, that's the word I was thinking of. Sorry, I said justifiable cause. Probable cause.
You just said that I have to, for me to travel on this road, public road.
Operating a motor vehicle, yes, you have to have a valid
I'm
driver's license because it's a
traveling.
privilege,
It doesn't
not
require
right.
a license.
Yes, it does. If you're traveling in a vehicle on a public road, yeah, you need a license.
Okay.
It doesn't require a license.
It doesn't?
No.
Okay.
Let me tell you something.
Okay. That's your opinion.
No, it's not.
The cop at this point is just like, I'm just waiting for the supervisor to get here.
There's nothing funny
I don't want to
about the
deal
tools
with
of
this.
capitalism.
Cascadia 93, the bit that always gets me about sovereign citizens is that in almost all of these videos, they're doing the recording, like they're the ones doing the own, They think they're right. It's the most misplaced confidence I've ever seen, and I love that. That's why if you ever watch this channel, and you wonder what's the common thread between all of the things that I cover, and I'll tell you what it is. It's either narcissism or an unwavering belief that you are right, despite the fact that you are incredibly wrong and making a jackass of yourself. That's why I do Karens, that's why I do sovereign citizens, it's why I do some cringe stuff, because that falls under a lot of cringe type stuff, is people being overly confident and doing something very silly. The same thing applies to a lot of people on the right that I cover on Chud Watch when we're talking about Jeremy or whoever. They all come from a position of believing that their view of the world is inerrant and completely correct. And they are so confident in these positions that they will make a fool of themselves on camera trying to espouse this position. I am obsessed with people with that level of self-confidence. Maybe because in my life I've never really had that and I'm constantly second-guessing myself. But like, something about that worldview that I am not only correct, but I am so correct, I am going to put this on camera. It's just weird to me, and it's fascinating. Daddy Sume, God, I want to be a cop just to own sovereign citizens. I just want to explain to them in every way that they're wrong. You might want to be a lawyer if you want to do that instead of a cop. It's solipsism with extra steps. I don't know. I think that's over. Solipsism is very specifically believing that you're the only, like, living being in the universe and everyone else is a fantasy of your mind. But, you know, entitlement. False entitlement. Yeah, that'd be a good way to describe it, too.
Not an opinion. I'm stating I'm stating facts.
Okay.
That can be proven.
That's fine.
That can be proven.
Okay.
Officer, what's that? What can I get your badge number?
Yeah, Officer Banuelos is right there.
Bangos and
star number's right there.
I got it.
Not an N. Thank you for following. Welcome
Just
to the
let you know
stream.
you are being audio and video
Okay.
recorded too.
It's the same supreme confidence uber Christians have. Yeah, and that's why we cover creationism sometimes on here too, or flat earth, or whatever, conspiracy things. I forgot to mention the conspiracy stuff. Falls under the same umbrella of, like, confidently incorrect. And yes, I understand the irony of me being a Twitch streamer who, you know, runs my mouth for a living. I understand that I'm in many ways doing the same thing, but I'd like to think I have enough, you know, self-awareness to recognize that I can be wrong and that I will correct myself when corrected, and I will apologize for that. Whereas a lot of these people don't seem to feel that way. And I also don't feel like I'm ever a supreme authority on anything. I never claim that I know everything, even when I'm talking about this stuff. I talk about what my understanding of the law is in regard to this stuff, but I'm not a lawyer. I'm not anyone who's ever studied the law. I'm just repeating what I've heard smarter people than I say. I'm repeating what I've heard lawyers say in regard to this stuff, because there's a lot of material out there. Not a ton, but enough material out there of lawyers going over sovereign citizen stuff and basically explaining why it's all BS. So, I don't know. I don't know. Just weird. These guys are just weird.
Officer Taylor.
It's almost always dudes, too. What's up with that? You don't see a ton of female sovereign citizens. They do exist. I've seen a couple videos of them, but they're not super common.
17121. Can I get your badge number, officer? Officer Owens. What's your badge number, Owens? Oh, he don't want to give me his badge number. But like I said, see, I ain't finna start it up. I'm finna just raise the window down, sir, because I see that you are very, very professional with it. So
yeah, I try to be professional. Try to give people, be courteous.
I understand. But the state of Illinois, Chicago, state of Illinois converted my right to a privilege. But Murdoch versus Pennsylvania says no state shall convert a secure liberty into a privilege. And if they do, Shuttlesworth versus Birmingham, Alabama says that I can ignore the license engaged from the right to impunity. Okay. That means they can't punish me.
So what he's citing here is a case, at least the first case that he cites, is a case that says you cannot convert a right into a privilege. I'm not sure the specifics of the case, but what he's saying here is he believes that it is his right to drive a vehicle on public roads. It's not. And he's saying that that's been converted into a privilege by the fact that he is required to have licensing and insurance and all the stuff that you need to operate a vehicle on the roads publicly, legally. So he has already inferred that driving on a public road is a right. It is not. Like, his very first postulate is wrong at the forefront. You do not have a right to travel on public roads with a motor vehicle. That is a privilege. Now, you have the right to travel in the sense that, like, you can't be stopped from moving from one place to another within the 50 states of the United States and its territories. But that doesn't mean that you have the right in the manner in which you travel. You just still can't go on public roads if you don't have a license. That's not a right. And it's not even like in the amendments to the Constitution, you have a right to travel. That was a thing in the Articles of Confederation, which is why sometimes these people will cite the Articles of Confederation, even though that hasn't been valid since like 1789 when the Constitution got ratified. But yeah, you do, I think, under the law, basically have the right to go from place to place within the United States, provided you aren't trespassing on anyone's property. But that's talking about, like, if you're walking, right? If you're walking or using a bike legally, stuff like that. But if you want to travel on public roads, that's a different thing. That's not just traveling. That's traveling on public roads in a motor vehicle. And the government, it has been found many times, has the right. This was more like case law that got settled in like the 30s and 40s and stuff, because of course mass transit in terms of like mass automobile usage was becoming a big thing, and that's when states and counties, before states took care of driver's licenses, it was some counties did it individually, until later, of course, the states just said, okay, we'll do state licensing. In that period, there were some case law that was made about this kind of thing. There's one that they cite a lot where a particular county had someone issuing driver's licenses. It was the sheriff or something like that who was issuing driver's licenses to citizens of the county. Oh, Batty Bell, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Just dropping in and wanted to say hi. Love you, Hannah, and love you, chat. Thank you, Batty Bell, for the 1,000 bits. Appreciate it. So the sheriff was issuing driver's licenses to people in the community. However, he wasn't issuing some sort of test to determine if you should get a driver's license. He was saying, oh, I like you, or I think you're responsible because I know you personally, because it was a town that was relatively small, and he could know the people within it. So he would give it to people that he knew and he thought were responsible, and he wouldn't give it to people that he didn't think were responsible. Now, in this specific case, the court found you cannot do that. However, they said, you cannot arbitrarily restrict people from getting licenses in that way, because it was arbitrary and up to the determination of an individual. But they did say, hey, however, they can provide a test that anyone can take, and then once they do so, they can be licensed. It just has to be a set of standards that are the same for everyone. And that's basically where things have come out in terms of driver's licenses. As long as you pass the test, whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're white or black, or you know the sheriff or you don't, you can get a license if you pass the test. And that is completely legal. But they often cite that case and be like, it's illegal to
There's nothing funny about
it's funny too. Sometimes they'll be like, you're arbitrarily disallowing me from using the roads. No, that's not arbitrary. In fact, the opposite. The case law you're citing is saying they can determine with a test, and you're saying that the test itself is arbitrary, which it isn't. Anyway, Cascadia 93 with a bit. It makes me laugh when people use a book that was written 20 years before they built the interstate system. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you seem to be very knowledgeable.
I'm very knowledgeable of the law.
Well, let's start off. What's your name?
Anyone who says that and isn't a lawyer, don't trust them inherently. I don't know dick about the law. Don't trust me. Like, ask a lawyer if you have any legal questions. I'm just trying to be an entertaining person on the internet.
I would not give you my name
Why not?
because I haven't committed a crime.
Well, how do you want me to address you?
You can address me as private person.
Private person?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
because I do not owe my existence to the
Private
state.
person?
You don't?
I do not.
Okay.
You wouldn't salute a private, I guess, but my joke stands.
That is my fort. That's the what?
MMO addicted with 5 bits. Oh god, that's very knowledgeable. Sounded like a child stomping and going, I'm a big boy. Yeah, same energy.
The 14th Amendment. My 14th Amendment.
Your 14th Amendment? Okay. Well, like I said, you seem to be very knowledgeable. We have a supervisor on scene. You
Okay.
can explain all this to him.
Okay.
All right.
I'm telling them I'm traveling.
Okay.
I just bought the vehicle. I just bought the car.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Sue
Cop
S.
just sounded
the
like he's
officer
trying to
name
get
is
through this. Oh, yeah.
SULLIV.
I'm sure the cop is just trying to bide time until the supervisor gets there.
Another officer name
Cretan
is
Supreme, thank you for following.
Capitalistic propaganda.
LMAZAN. His start number is, I can't see it. Can I get the other officer's start number
Yeah, everything will be given to you. All right. Appropriately.
appropriately, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't worry. We have a supervisor on scene that you could explain your reasons why you don't want to provide a driver's license.
I don't have a driver's license because I don't need.
Guess he's not going to plead the fifth on that. Sometimes they do, but it's bold to just admit a crime to a cop's face. Just be like, actually, sir, I'll have you know I do not have a driver's license, said behind the seat of an automobile.
One. And I'm not finna register my car with the state.
Okay.
I'm finna register it into my private. I'm finna register, not register it, but I'm finna put it in my Yeah, y'all got all these officers coming as if though like I committed a crime or something. Like I don't get it.
I'm not saying you committed a crime, but it is against
It's not.
state law
it's-
to operate a motor vehicle without a valid
This is not a.
driver's license.
I understand what you're saying.
point,
This is
and
not
you're
a motor vehicle.
Okay.
A motor vehicle
There's
in the
nothing
Black
funny
Law
about the
Dictionary
tools of
is
capitalism.
described a vehicle for hire. This is not a.
It is not a vehicle for hire. He's completely misrepresenting what it says. Actually, Your Honor, I did burn down the orphanage. Funny.
There's nothing
He's
funny
shoving
about
his
the
foot
tools
so
of
far into his
capitalism.
mouth he can kiss his own butt. True. It does not say that an automobile or a car is a vehicle for hire. It says driving is the process of being I can even find it. Hold on. Black's Law Dictionary. Driver. Black's Law Dictionary. What is a driver? One employed in conducting a coach, carriage, wagon, or other vehicle with horses, mules, or other animals, or a bicycle, tricycle, motor car, though not a street, railroad car. See Davis versus Petrovich. And then there's the place that you can basically find the law. One employed in conducting. Employed in conducting literally just means you are operating it. And of course, it applies to carriage, wagons, and stuff because this was in the 30s. Yeah. This is the definition that they're drawing from. I believe this is from... Does it even have the exact date? No. This is, I think, from the 1930s edition of Black's Law. Black's Law Dictionary. I gotta get me a copy of modern Black's Law Dictionary just so I can dunk on these people, because the modern dictionary definition in Black's Law is not even the same as this. I think that comes from the 3rd edition, which was published in 33, and we're currently on the 11th edition. And I do know that the current Black's Law Dictionary definition of driver is not this. It doesn't use the verbiage employed. Possibly specifically because a bunch of dumb sovereign citizens took this definition and completely misunderstood it. Reading comprehension is hard, I guess. But anyway, one employed in conducting a coach, carriage, blah, 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 or motor car. Employed in conducting. You're driving it because you're operating the vehicle.
This is not a non-commercial vehicle.
Okay, well, I'm explaining to you what the state of Illinois says.
I understand what you're saying, as far as how that goes, but this is not what we have here.
Okay.
Is what I'm trying to tell you, officer.
Sure.
It's
right there.
I'm saying how you pronounce it.
Benuelos.
Benuelos.
Yes.
Benuelos. Officer name is RASKE 1118. Okay. 6.
Can you?
Oh, what'd he say?
Can you roll down that window from right front over there?
Oh, y'all, I'm letting you know right now, for the record, there is no guns up in here.
Keep your hands on the steering wheel. Follow verbal commands right now.
Sir,
Keep your hands on the steering wheel. For our safety and your safety, keep your hands visible at all times.
Sir, okay, can you tell me this? Why did you stop me?
You have no plates on your car.
The cop even sounded surprised that he was asking that question. Why did you stop me? You have no plates on your car. Yeah, that'd do it. I wonder if he has one of the... Have you guys seen this stuff? It's crazy. Sit license plate. There are people who will sell sovereign citizens these license plates that are like, private, no driver license or insurance required, not for commerce, use, private mode of travel. Literally, like, they'll sell them this crap. For like, I don't even know how much they sell them for. Too much. Either way, it's basically a signal to the cops. Hey, please come and pull me over, you know? I definitely don't have insurance or a license. The only way this is gonna get a cop to not pull you over is if they're like, I don't want to deal with this paperwork today. That's the only situation in which that license plate is gonna get you away from not having a license.
There's nothing funny about the tools of
MMO
capitalism.
addicted with 5 bits. Why did you stop me, sir? You're dancing naked, covered in blood, and singing that your name is Princess Stabbity Stab Stab. Oh.
I don't have to have plates on my car.
Yes, you do.
By constitutional rights.
Okay.
I'm exercising
There's no constitutional amendment to not have license plates on your car. I think everyone knows that, right? It's not like the 57th Amendment. I have the right to not have license plates on my car. There's no judicial precedent that would take any of the amendments or rights as they're currently understood in the Constitution and apply them in that way. Like, even if he's trying to say, like, unreasonable search and seizure, I have a right to my private property. Okay, you have a right to own your car, but if the government says under law that you have to register it with the state to operate it publicly on public roads, then you need to do that. Like, there's absolutely no precedent that says that that's not the case. MMO addicted with a bit. That may have been an actual RP story. Oh god. the Princess Stabby thing.
There's nothing funny about
MMO addicted. Thank you for gifting a sub to Freaking Out 99.
Constitutional right. I don't have no guns. If you want to see, you can look in here. I don't have no knife. I don't have no. Only thing I have is a lighter.
Okay.
And probably one loose cigarette.
Okay.
Okay, that's the only thing. So I'm letting you officers know you don't have to be hostile. I'm a very respectable man. You know, and I'm not basically trying to, you know, I'm not trying to harm nobody. See, he knocking on the what's called you the supervisor? Hey, how you doing, sir?
Sergeant Grip, how you doing?
How you doing, Sergeant Grip?
So what's going on here?
Okay, the officer stopped me. You know.
This guy is like, oh, God, they're calling me out for this crap.
And he said that I needed a driver's license.
Yes.
I said, I know I do not need a driver's license to travel. I'm traveling. I'm just traveling to the store.
Okay. Sir,
I understand.
You're operating a vehicle in the state of Illinois, and you need a driver's
This is my,
funny
okay,
about the
sir,
tools
this
of
is my
capitalism.
personal property.
Ammo addicted with 4 bits. I'm very respectable, man. The most respectable does Trump hands. Oh, let me do it. I'm very... No, I can't even do the Trump voice right now.
Okay,
understand.
and this is not a motor vehicle. In the Black Laws, I told them in the Black Laws Dictionary, motor vehicle is a vehicle that get paid. I mean, that you accept some type of fare of a fee. I already been through this case with 111th and Montgomery, sir.
All right, let me hold you right there. This is the state of Illinois. We operate under the state of Illinois laws. You operating this vehicle means that you need to operate, by our point of view, under the state of Illinois laws.
God, I wish they understood what they were citing so they could, like, refute it correctly. All they would need to explain is, like, no, what that says is this, the being employed in operating a motor vehicle, and say that's not what employed means in that context. But instead, because he's saying we operate under Illinois law, what this does, when it goes into sovereign citizen brain, goes, they're denying me my constitutional rights and operating under state law instead of federal law. And I understand that it's not necessarily other people's jobs to dance around the weird BS mentality of these people, but it certainly entrenches them deeper in their beliefs. This guy is not going to walk away from this encounter thinking he was in the wrong, even though he obviously was.
Which means you need to provide a driver's license if you have one. Do you have a driver's license?
No, I do not, sir.
Okay, then it's a matter of you're going to have to come with us. You'll be issued some tickets. You'll have your day in court, and then you'll be free to go.
Okay.
The whole process is going to take about 20 minutes.
Okay, sir. Okay, I'm letting you know. I'm finna let you know this now.
Yeah,
I'm finna beat this case.
Okay.
I'm gonna beat the case.
Right.
And then it is what
I
it is.
understand you don't agree with our laws.
No.
Which you are
It ain't.
entitled to?
It ain't the point that I don't agree with the law.
Okay.
I know the law.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, this is not the law.
Okay.
Okay.
It is.
All right. However, we are operating
nothing
under
funny
our
about the
perception of
tools
our
of
laws.
capitalism.
So, in the meantime, you need to step out. You're going to come with us. We're going to issue you tickets, and you'll be free.
They
to
should
go.
give cops and judges
Fair
lessons on how to deal with
guess that's
sovereign
have any weapons, sir?
citizens. Maybe. I honestly don't know how often this happens, though. I think I saw an estimate. There was a police training video we watched about sovereign citizens a while back that estimated there's somewhere between 1 and 200,000 sovereign citizens in the country, in the U.S., which seems like a lot. I mean, the population's like 300 million or something like that. Let me look. U.S. population, 2020. 331 million people. So in the grand scheme of things, 200,000 isn't a ton. But the fact that there's potentially that many people who believe this BS, it's kind of crazy. So I do wonder how often cops are interacting with them. Because, like, it's going to be a higher percentage than just out of the general population because they're going to be more likely to break laws in the first place. Laws like this, where they're not having a license plate, not driving with a license, or whatever, what have you. So they're probably dealing with them at a higher instance than they are in terms of the general population because they're going to be more likely to break the law in the first place. But I do wonder, like, is your average cop or judge dealing with one every month? Once a year? Once every 5 years? Or is this like a thing that they're dealing with weekly? Odd, the number of sovereign citizens is the same as COVID deaths. Yeah, that's sad to think about. COVID deaths, U.S. 202,000. USA. Anyway.
No, I do
Are
not,
you a
sir.
carry concealed permit holder in the state of Illinois?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I will be in a minute, but I.
Okay. I appreciate your cooperation.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Oh, let me take this.
And I guess he got arrested, so I do wonder if, when we get to the end of these videos, I wonder how many of these sovereign citizens ever learn their lesson in the long term. Do they ever realize, hey, I was wrong, or do they just stick to this for the rest of their lives? I don't know. Cotton Candy 903 with 10 bits. They could have it set where they give the lessons where they have a local incidence of them. Yeah. There are training videos that exist for cops about sovereign citizens. We watched one a week or two ago. So they definitely exist, although they're, oh boy, they're very, very, because it's a cop training video, it was very focused on, like, if you encounter a sovereign citizen, they might shoot you in the face! And it's like, alright, look, cop, I know you're paranoid. I know cops are the most paranoid, jumpy people on the planet, which they really need to stop. They're not even in the top 10 most dangerous professions in the United States. Like, if you deal with a sovereign citizen, 99% of the time, 99.999, they're just gonna be annoying and dumb. Like, that's what it is. They're probably not going to hurt you. I really, really wish the cops would stop fear-mongering amongst themselves about, like, oh, every citizen's 5 seconds away from pulling out a shiv and stabbing you in the dick. Like, nah, not usually. If you could stop, like, putting your hand on your guns and thinking that everyone you encounter is a murderer, that'd be cool. Anyway, moving on. Martinez in court. Tells judge she's in contempt. This should go well. I think this is a guy that we watched the other day, this Martinez guy. Cotton Candy 903. I've got a class starting. I'll be back later, but I have to go to the net for the next half hour. Okay. Hope your class goes well. Professor Daddy 1118. Thank you for subscribing. 4-month streak. Well, stabbing you in the dick was a weird place for me to join the stream. Yeah. Anyway, Martinez in court. We've covered this guy before. He's not only a sovereign citizen, he's the kind who posts YouTube videos semi-regularly about how he thinks the system is corrupt. And the system is corrupt, but not for reasons that he thinks.
Good afternoon. On the charge of having a suspended.
Oh, that's barely audible.
Okay, is damage to property.
Lame. Okay, we gotta move on. This is the same guy, though.
There. It's a little early in the morning. Been out for a while. I got out last night, I think around a little after 8 p.m. So I wanted to get on here, give you guys a quick update. I know it's kind of early. Some of you are probably getting up and getting ready to head out the door. I have to head out and probably see parole and probation. Hello, Carolina. Hello.
Here's some advice to this guy. Okay, in terms of set, I get it. You're going for like the system is corrupt, everything's upside down, so you have an upside down American flag, fine, that's whatever. But maybe get some studio lights. Like, I'm not gonna pretend I'm like the queen of amazing set dressing, because this wasn't set up for this kind of thing. Our normal set was like over there when we did the YouTube stuff. We haven't this year because of COVID. But like, I at least have, you know, like, studio lights. Like up there, that's a studio light. It's actually a little too low, which is why I get a little overlit in the back sometimes, and I need to get some for up front. But either way, this guy needs some studio lights or something so he doesn't have this big annoying shadow in frame the entire time. He also looks like he's being lit from below, which looks like very foreboding. Like he's about to tell a scary story and he's got a flashlight under his chin.
Hello, everyone. if everything's good, I kind of, on my end, I'm looking kind of choppy. Is everything okay on you guys? Can you guys get good signal? You guys, I'm not choppy on your end? If I can get someone? Cool. Alright. Well, guys, I just kind of wanted to give a quick update and a recap of what happened. A lot of you already know that I was arrested in July of 2017 for possession of a concealed firearm. Now, what happened then, I didn't really like talking too much about the case, alright? So I knew I was being watched, and every time I would speak, I knew that the DA...
I mean, generally speaking, it's a good idea to not talk about the crimes you've allegedly committed on the internet, because anything you say, like let's say I commit a crime, I don't know what it is, or even if I'm involved in like a civil dispute, whatever it happens to be. If you're involved in a court case and you speak about it online, anything you say in those videos, the prosecution can then take and be like, they said this. You know what I mean? So if you incriminate yourself online, which you're likely to do if you're talking about alleged crimes you've committed. I assume this guy did, in fact, probably possess a firearm that he wasn't supposed to, or that he didn't have a permit for or something. And he goes online and talks about it, and he talks about committing this crime, then it's possible that the prosecution is going to use that. So don't do that. Don't talk about crimes you commit on the internet. Don't talk about crimes you commit anywhere. Or, you know what, let's back up even further. Don't commit crime. That'd be good.
Was going to try to strengthen his case by listening and watching my my video. So I was kind of holding back. So this is what happened. I was at work.
Why is this flag upside down? I think it's supposed to be like, oh, the system is upside down. The whole world is turned upside down. So he's got an upside down flag. Could be wrong. But that's what I get out of it, considering he's a sovereign citizen and he thinks things are all messed up.
I was a doorman. My job was just pretty much to check people in, check IDs, make sure they were on guest list, give them over to the hostess, let her take them. Sometimes I would take them to their table. So those are my duties, simple duties. I was running a little bit late. I was running a little late. I was setting up the poles, setting up the ropes, setting up the cash register. I then, I was trying to get everything, organized. I was then approached by 3 plainclothes gentlemen. One was wearing a hat, and I told him, "Hey guys, 1 second, no ball caps allowed inside the nightclub. It's dress code. You can leave it in your car or leave it up front." One looks at the other, kind of like, "Well, who's this guy?" Well, I knew something was up because one had a clipboard and said, "Well, we're here to check the business license and sheriff's cards." I said, "Fine." Now, what a sheriff card is it's a card issued by our local sheriff for people who want to work in the nightclub industry, anywhere that serves alcohol, establishments that have slot machines, things like that. You have to have a sheriff's card. You go down to the police station, you get fingerprinted, same process as a CCW, a concealed weapons permit. That's what they were checking. Well, I didn't have mine on me. I told them, "Look, it's inside. If you want to see the business license, I can get the manager out here for you. You can, he can assist you in that." Well, they surrounded me and said, no, stay right here, don't move. I said, "Sir, I have guests in line that are waiting to come in." Then the other one kind of came up beside me, got closer. At this point, one asks me, "Is that your firearm?" I said, "Yes." At this time, he says, he discerned it. He discerned the firearm. He already knew it was on my hip. He says, "Do you have a concealed weapons permit?" I said, "No, there's no permit required for open carry." Well, he grabs me and puts me in cuffs. And at this point, I'm not sure, okay, who are these guys? Who are they with? So then I asked him, "Who are you?" Then that's when he pulled out his badge and says, "Metropolitan Police Department, Special Investigations Unit." And I said, "Well, what are you arresting me for?" possession of a concealed firearm, he says. We go kind of back and forth on it. I'm like, no, I'm open carrying. Yeah, call my boss, call everybody here. Everybody knows I open carry. I'm not concealed carrying. My boss, everybody else comes out. Some of the people were held at the door. The police officers didn't allow too much people to come outside the door. They said, no, stay back. At that time, I noticed 4 more plainclothes people coming from the other side of the building. I knew they were cops because just the way they were talking and signaling each other, they approached us. And I said, and at that point, I've been in the nightclub industry before. We've had visits from the city, from the state. We've had those type of checks before. They don't send 8 undercover officers, 7 undercover officers to check a business license. It's just usually one pencil pusher who just goes, checks off, says, all right, cool, I'm out of here. At that point, when they were sitting me down and checking and doing inventory in my pockets, I knew then that it was because of my activism.
See, he almost had me in terms of like maybe he was open carrying, which is legal in many, many places. You can open carry a firearm and it's a distinct thing from like having a concealed carry firearm. And he's saying that he was open carrying it, but a cop claimed that it was somehow concealed. I could see a situation where that happens, right? Like, I'm not saying it definitely happened in this case because I wasn't there, and this guy's probably not the most genuine guy considering he's a sovereign citizen, so it's possible that this story is being tainted by his own bias. But I could see, and I think it would be believable to see a situation where some power-tripping a-hole cop sees someone open carrying, and in order to incriminate them, acts as though it's concealed. The claim that now the business that you happen to work at as a doorman is being investigated by 8 cops specifically because you make shitty sovereign citizen YouTube videos is so blatantly ridiculous, I don't even know where to begin. Like, what? If they wanted to harm you as an individual, that's not even a good way to go about it. What are you talking about?
Sorry guys, I'm trying to get my charger in here. Oh damn, hope I don't lose y'all. What the hell? Sorry about that, guys. Well, I'll try to go as fast as I can. But anyways, I was then taken into custody. I knew then it was because of my activism.
Your club's probably doing something illegal. I don't know what, but if that many cops are showing up to the club in plain clothes, it's probably because they're trying to bust the club for something. Either, I don't know, and this is just like TV show logic, not real world logic. I don't know anything about like organized crime, but like either like, I don't know, laundering money or doing something with drugs, like, I don't know, illegal gambling that's going on because you mentioned you may have had slot machines, so it's possible that they might be doing something else. Oh, hey, thank you, Bad Bunny, for raiding with a party of 231 people. Wow. Everyone go check out Bad Bunny, by the way. I raid Bad Bunny relatively often, but if you haven't seen her, please go check her out. Really, really great stuff. So thank you, everyone, and welcome. We're looking into the world of sovereign citizens. Sovereign citizens are people basically who believe the law doesn't apply to them. They think that through misuse of certain legal jargon that they can somehow get around the law. They get pulled over a lot and they try and say that they're not actually driving a car when they're driving. All sorts of crazy stuff. Oh, thank you for saying that about the hats. When we do hype trains, I put on a hat for every level of the hype train. So that's what the hats are about. Since a bunch of people just showed up and this video's kind of boring me anyway, let's do another video. Let me see what one we can get. Is there a courtroom one? I'll try and find a courtroom one. Because the courtroom ones are pretty fun. Do 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 do.
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.
Sovereign Citizen doesn't understand what an arraignment hearing is. I think this one's audio only, but hopefully the audio will be good. Oh, that's bad audio.
Propaganda.
This one's pretty good. We've seen this one before, but for the new people, I want to play this so you can get an idea what sovereign citizens are, and I can explain a little bit as this goes on.
I informed your attorney. He knows about your court date,
This one's
sir.
classic.
David Hall.
Mr. Hall has declined the services of the public defender, Your Honor.
Mr. Hall, DUI, expired driver's license.
Good morning, Judge. Judge, I need to say how I'm appearing today, sir.
Hold on, wait. Let me finish. Hold on. Attachment. Hold on, Mr. Hall. Sir, you've been charged with DUI, expired tag, attaching a plate not assigned, license suspended, failed to drive in a single lane. Just give me a moment, sir. Let me look at your driving record. Okay?
Sir, I haven't said for the court how I'm appearing today,
Well,
sir.
I'm not asking you yet. Just give me a moment, all right? I need to look at your record. Okay, I'm looking here. Failure to pay traffic tickets back 2011. Open container out. Okay. All right, sir. Hold on. Does this gentleman, Mr. David Hall, does he have any criminal record?
Yes, Judge, and he also has pending felony DWLSs in front of...
Okay, what's the pending felony DWLS?
Basically, this guy is being, I don't know what the term would be, but he's being put before the judge because he was arrested for some sort of DUI, and he was also driving without a license. Sovereign citizens often believe that they do not have to drive with a driver's license. They think that they can legally drive without a license plate, without a driver's license, without registration, without insurance, and that somehow that is legal for them to do. They do this under the belief that they can claim, I'm not driving my car, I'm traveling in my personal conveyance. Of course, that's nonsense, and it doesn't preclude the fact that they are in fact driving, but nonetheless, they believe that using certain terms, they can get away with doing these things, so they get pulled over all the time for having expired tags, or having no license plate, or all sorts of ridiculous things.
You sign. Okay, there's a few. 1 second.
I'll give you a moment to talk in just a moment, sir. Hold on, Mr. Hall.
The pending felony is 14016.
The Free Inhabitant on YouTube. We could watch that one too, because that one's a classic. Free Inhabitant. Yeah, that one's a classic.
But we told you he's an Article 4 free inhabitant, so he does not have to have a license. This is on recording. Article 4, free inhabitant, pursuant to the Articles of Confederation. You can look it up. It's in the United States Book of Codes. It is your laws you have to follow.
All right, I will do that. Just be smart, I'll walk you back here.
Article 4, free inhabitant, pursuant to the Articles of Confederation.
Put the camera down for me. Is that if
She cited the Articles of Confederation. For those who don't know, the Articles of Confederation are what existed as a founding legal document for the country prior to the Constitution. The Articles of Confederation haven't been a valid legal reference since 1789.
If it records, that's fine. But I don't want you holding anything.
No weapons, no weapons. All right, no.
Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do is the same thing.
I get out of the car?
Yes.
No, I'm not getting out of the car.
All
You
right.
can go get your superior.
Well, I am going to tow this car, and you cannot be in the vehicle while I'm towing this vehicle.
Well, if you go get your superior,
That's not
he'll
gonna happen right
clarify
now.
that he can be set free because he does not
That's
have
not
to have
going
a
to
license.
happen right now, young lady. So either you're going to come out of the car on your own free will, or I'm going to assist you.
I'm going to get out of the car and walk down to that house.
No, you are not free to leave right now.
Are you saying you have authority over me?
Yes, I do.
You have proven authority over me.
Yes, I do.
How did you do that?
Sovereign citizens also have this problem with understanding how authority and governance works. Like, I get it. Cops are power-tripping a-holes a lot of the time. I understand that, and there are systematic issues that need to be dealt with within our society in regard to cops and their abuse of power. However, sovereign citizens will outright believe that the cops do not have any authority over you simply because they wish it to be so. It's like they are faced with the fact that we have all these issues with policing in the real world, and then they go, well, I'll just decide they don't have authority over me. I'm just going to say that what authority do you have over me? How can you prove you have jurisdiction over me? Which isn't how it works.
County of Imperial through the sheriff.
You do not have authority over a human being,
All right,
over
well,
a free
you know
inhabitant.
what? Do you want to argue the point?
You need to go look up your
I don't
laws.
have to look at anything right now. What I need to do is get you out of the vehicle. If you have identification, please hand the identification over to me.
No.
Identify yourself to me.
And I'm not going to step out of the vehicle.
Why did she move to the passenger seat? I think she was the passenger. The person that was driving already got arrested, I think, for driving without a license or without a license plate or something to that effect. And now the cop is saying that he needs to get her out of the car as the passenger so he can get the car towed, probably because the car isn't registered or doesn't have a license plate. Either way, it's being impounded by the city for whatever crime the person or civil infraction, for whatever issue was found with the car. So, thank you everyone who followed, by the way. I normally list people off, but that's a lot of people. So thank you everyone for following. Appreciate it. So he's just trying to get her out of the car for the ability to tow it. That's it.
All right, well, you know, you are impeding my investigation. You are delaying me, which is a penal code violation in the state of California.
That law only applies to U.S. citizens.
Well, where are you a citizen of?
I am not a U.S. citizen.
Well, see, that's
I
where
am
you're
a free
mistaken.
inhabitant. I am of the earth. I do not belong to any corporation. I do not belong to any country.
Yeah,
Okay, this gets me too. Sovereign citizens will sometimes claim... Newer sovereign citizens are no better than this, usually. But sovereign citizens will sometimes say something to the effect of, I am not a citizen of the United States, like she just said. Which is so stupid, because even if you're not a citizen of a place, the laws of that place apply to you. If I fly to France and I steal something, and let's say I'm walking down the street, I'm in Paris, Paris, France. And there's a bakery, and for some reason outside they have a display of baguettes, and I go, delicious French bread. I would like a baguette. Yes, I'm saying baguette weird. And I go yoink, and I take the delicious crusty French bread and I run away. Now let's say the police come up and they go, oh oui, oh. I am French. You have broken the law. Prepare to pay with your life. And I go, actually, I am not a French citizen, so your laws don't apply to me. Checkmate. That makes no sense. Wherever you are, the laws of that place apply to you. It doesn't matter if you're a citizen or not. Like, even if it's, like, unjust. If I go and take a vacation to North Korea and I do something that even though it's not really morally bad, let's say I just do something that's like disrespectful to Kim Jong-un and I get arrested and put in a gulag, is that right? No. A lot of things North Korea do aren't right. They're kind of an awful, evil dictatorship. But nonetheless, they are the authority, the sovereign, in the country that you are in, therefore they make the rules. I don't understand how these people think law works. Like, the United States government is sovereign because it has the power. The United States government has a military and a national guard and states that back them up with their authority and police apparatus. Like, where do they think authority comes from? It's so confusing. Academy Award level French accent. I do my best. You got the touch, you got the power. What is that from? I know that's from a song, but why? Why, Daddy Sume?
As long as you're in the sovereign states of the United States, you will abide by the rules and laws.
See,
and you have certain protections.
A free inhabitant they are allowed to. They're free people. They have all of the.
Oh, because I said power weird? Nah, I don't know. I've been saying weird things a lot. I've been saying things weird today. I don't know.
Rights of a U.S. citizen without following any of their laws.
Well, that would just be pure anarchy if that were the case.
No, because
So
we're
I'm gonna have
peaceful
you step
people.
out of the
We're
vehicle
peaceful
for me,
people. You go call them up and ask them, and they'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, I don't know who to call.
Your superior.
Well, I am a superior to a certain extent.
So call your superior.
Well, it's going to take a couple hours or so for somebody to come down.
Well,
and
just
that's
call
not going to
them.
happen right now.
Well, then we're gonna have to solve it some other way.
All right.
We just need to. You need to call in, tell them I'm a free inhabitant, and find out what that is.
I am going to.
I always wonder in these cases, like, does she think legitimately he's gonna call the sergeant or whoever is in charge of the police and go, hey, commissioner, we got a free inhabitant here, and the commissioner's gonna be like, oh, you gotta let him go. Policing only works with consent for some reason. That's why there's no one who's in prison ever, because they can just say no.
Tow this vehicle.
Daddy Sume says, I honestly think it's a teenager. I don't know, maybe.
Young lady, so you cannot be in this vehicle.
I understand that. So all right, then I'm gonna get out of the vehicle and I'm going to walk down to that house
No, you're
because
not.
you do not have
No,
authority
you're
over
not.
me. Well, then I'm not getting out of the vehicle.
No, you're not.
Why?
You're not free to leave.
Why?
As soon as I conclude the rest of my investigation.
I don't know if it is a teenage girl, because I don't think I've ever met a teenage girl with this much confidence unless they were super rich. Does that make sense? Like, I don't even think, like a lot of teenage boys have the amount of confidence to scream at a cop like this. Like, it either requires profound... Ooh, how do I want to put this? It either requires profound stupidity or profound privilege to think that this is going to go well for you.
You will be free to leave. As far as I know, you have not done anything wrong at this point. But you are slowly reaching to that point,
you know what?
to 148 PC.
I'll get out of the vehicle for you. I will get out of the vehicle. I'm getting
All right, well, you're not free to leave.
You're
going to take the bag
No,
off.
no, I'm
You're going
not.
to take the bag off.
No, I'm not.
Relax your...
Hey! You're raping me. This is rape. This is rape. This is rape.
That's not what that word means.
Relax.
Okay.
Relax your arms.
It's relaxed.
Stop fighting with
It's
me.
relaxed.
Stop fighting with me. Stop fighting.
All right. I'm not fighting.
Center 256. I got a combative X-ray.
Here, I'm lifting my arm up. I'm lifting my
Leave
arm
your
up.
arm right
it
there.
hurt. Okay, I told you what I was doing.
This is pain compliance, okay? It's not meant to be comfortable.
This is
Do
illegal.
I have your attention?
This is completely illegal.
It's not.
No! Take my bag off.
I can't.
You're not putting me in the car. You can wait till you get to Superior. You are not taking my bag off. You can handcuff me with my bag on.
You're right. I will.
How can you be in the middle of being handcuffed and still think that you are in control of the situation?
Relax.
I'm relaxed. You got my bag! You got my bag! You're gonna get in so much trouble, you son of a bitch! You're gonna get sued! You don't even know what you're doing! I'm telling you, I'm
Young
gonna
lady,
fucking sue you!
Stop.
What's your name? Argadona, you're gonna get arrested. You're gonna get fucking... Oh my god, you don't know your own laws!
Relax, young
You
lady.
don't know your own laws!
Relax, young lady.
I can't believe you just did this.
You need to calm down.
You're gonna get in trouble.
Sume says, I think she has something illegal in that bag. Maybe. I have no idea. I don't know if there's any... Article 4, free inhabitant. Let me see if there's an article that anyone wrote about this. Article 4, free inhabitant girl. Yeah, I'm curious if there was ever like an article someone wrote that's a follow-up, because I've seen this video multiple times, but I don't think I ever actually...
You don't know your own laws.
If anything came of
You're
this
illegally
in terms
doing
of,
this.
like,
I told you I was
her
a...
actually trying and I assume failing to sue the cop, or if she just like let it go.
free inhabitant.
Calm down.
You are illegally doing this.
Young lady, calm down.
You are illegally doing this. I told you this is against my will. You did this illegal. You cut my bag.
All right, you're under arrest.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Give me my stuff.
Relax.
No.
You're
Leave
under
me alone.
You can't have this big camera, right?
You can go get superior.
This is why I think Rich, right? Like, I can't imagine... This has to come from someone who's just never been told no in her entire life, right? Like, how can you think that every situation, including your own arrest, is under your control if you've been told no before? This is why I think she's a teenager. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Go get, and I'm sweating right here. Go get your fucking superior. You son of a bitch! Give me my fucking... You fucking asshole!
You need to calm down.
After he said pain compliance, I'm 100% on her side. You don't have to take sides. This isn't about sides. When I cover sovereign citizens, this is not about being on the side of the cops, nor on the side of the sovereign citizens. It's just a very interesting thing that happens. It really depends on the situation. On this show, I've seen cops who seem to handle it relatively well. I've seen a ton of power-tripping cops who really, really escalate the situation and make it worse. So it's really dependent. I don't think you have to like anyone in the situation. Like, there are situations where everyone there is an asshole. It happens. Went to a high school with a chick who sounded like this. That must have been annoying. Let me see. Follow up on the free inhabitant girl. This is from the Am I Being Detained subreddit. Everyone remembers the article of Confederation spouting moron. I've heard there's a video of her in court. Does that exist? Didn't the policeman go to... Oh, no. Yeah. The girl with the most annoying accent, blah, blah, blah. Is there any update? Come on. Don't see an update there. Maybe there wasn't an update. I don't know. Facebook post. I hate Facebook. That's just a post by some rando. That's a shame. I would have liked to have known, like, what happened. If she ever realized that she was wrong or what.
582 CF10A.
Okay.
He also has pending misdemeanor DWLSs.
What is that? What are they?
Judge Evans. Case number 14.
Wait, 14 what?
053 909 TC30A.
TC30A. Okay.
And that's it.
That's it?
And a criminal history, obviously.
Okay. Now, Mr. Hall, so would you wanted to say something?
Yes, may I speak, Judge?
Well, don't tell me about what happened or did not happen regarding the DUI, but if you want to tell me about something
I'd like
else,
to state some things.
Go ahead.
I'd like to state some things for the record. Thank you, Judge. Judge John Hurley, I do accept your oath of office here today for the record, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Does this court take to...
A lot of the time they'll think that if they confirm that someone has taken an oath of office in the United States, and a lot of the time oaths of office, both for judges and for the police, will include something about upholding the Constitution, and by doing so and referencing this, sovereign citizens will sometimes believe that they can then say, oh, this specific thing or this specific law violates my constitutional rights, therefore, in order to uphold your oath, you should listen to my interpretation of the law. Which, of course, isn't the case. When someone says that they're going to uphold the Constitution, not only do they mean the actual Constitution as written, but they mean how it's been interpreted through the law, which is something that judges know all about, because that's literally the entire role of their place in society, is to interpret the law. So, just because your interpretation of a certain law says, like, oh, I don't think I need to have a driver's license because I think that goes against my right to travel, which isn't even a right. Like, you don't have a right to travel under the Constitution in the way that they think they do. The Articles of Confederation have a right to travel, but it's a little different. Either way, it's a completely weird thing that they do that doesn't do anything. Like most of the thing that sovereign citizens do. Mr. Steve-O75, thank you for following. And Mr. Hash Brownie, thank you for following.
This court take judicial notice of your oath, sir, with all due respect.
me see. I take judicial notice of my own oath. Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. They engage in word magic. Yeah, basically. They think that if they say the correct series of words mixed with legal jargon in the correct order, that it will somehow result in them being let free. It's very strange.
Thank you very much, sir.
It's under right to liberty, and yes, they do have a right to such liberty, but not on public roads. Yeah, basically, and I've talked about that before in regard to their right to, like, travel. Basically, if you're in America, you can go throughout the 50 states unabated. If you want to Forrest Gump it across the country and just walk from one place in the country to another, you are free to do so unimpeded, provided you don't break any laws along the way. But public roads, as they are public and maintained by the government, have rules to operate on them, like you can't just drive on public roads with an unregistered, uninsured vehicle without a license. You can't do it. Those are all things that the government has decided you need to have in order to operate on them. And I've talked about this before too. On private property, you can do whatever you want. You could have your 6-year-old to drive a car on private property, although if they get in some sort of, like, accident, you're probably going to be liable for, like, child endangerment. But, like, you can drive an unregistered, uninsured car without a license drunk on your own private property if you want. It only becomes illegal when you go out on the public roadways, and that's when traffic laws take effect.
Sir, today I'm appearing as the agent and settler for David Hall.
Okay. Okay. Could you get Mr. Hall for me then, sir?
When he says that he's appearing as the settler for David Hall, this is David Hall, but sovereign citizens will sometimes believe, and again, it's almost like religion in that there are sects. There are groups of people who believe different specific beliefs in the sovereign citizen worldview. It's going to depend, on the individual. But they believe that there is the real flesh and blood you, but they believe that there is also a straw man version of you that exists as a legal entity only. And they believe that the government's authority over you only exists because of the authority over this legal fiction straw man. It doesn't make any sense. It's not true, but that's the basis for some of their beliefs.
Where is he?
I go by that name, sir. My name sounds exactly like the defendant's, and I'm here to settle that matter today.
So are you and David Hall one and the same person?
I'm not a person, I'm an individual. David Hall is a person. I am the agent to that name.
Are you and David Hall one and the same individual?
I go by the name David Hall, sir, and I'm here about that matter today.
Okay. So you go by the name David Hall. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. The person who goes by the name of David Hall is standing in front
I'm
of
the
you.
individual. I am an individual, not a person.
You're not a person.
Yes, David Hall is a person. I am a private individual. David Hall is a person under color of law, sir.
Okay, where's David Hall then? The person David Hall.
Why am I wearing so many hats? Do the exclamation point hats command and it explains it.
On paper, sir, David Hall is a corporation. This action is under color of law, sir, and I do understand that. I am here in my real capacity as the private individual for that name, and I'm here about that matter.
You're the private individual, David Hall.
I'm the settler, sir.
You're the settler, David Hall.
I'm the settler to David Hall, sir.
Are you the private individual?
So, chat. My little shirt has little DNA helixes on it. And I love this fucking company. It's like science-themed clothes with...
It's very soft.
Yeah, it's science-themed clothes, and it's made with, like, scientists in mind. So the pocket in this is big enough to fit a lab notebook in.
Nice.
It's so cool.
Anyone who's new here from the raid, this is Baja Blast, not her real name, obviously. This is my girlfriend. She's a 4th-year PhD candidate in developmental biology.
I'll put the brand in chat. I can never remember what they're called.
David Hall?
Yes.
Good. Okay, we got that straight. We agree on that. Okay.
Oh.
Now.
I hit you with the... I forgot I was wearing like 6 hats. I'm sorry. Love you too.
May I, sir? David Hall, the private individual. I'm looking at your driving record right now. Multiple failures to pay traffic tickets for the individual, David Hall, not the person.
That's right, capitalist
But,
propaganda.
sir, what I'm going to do...
Can you clarify, sir?
Tim,
I'm not sure I understand that, but I'm happy to settle this matter right now if somebody will make presentments. Nobody has made presentment, and I've asked numerous times, and for the record...
When you say presentment, what do you mean by presentment?
Presentment of the charging instrument for set-off and settlement, sir. I am the settler.
I just told you what it is. I told you what your I told you what the individual...
Presentment...
David Hall did.
Judge?
Yes, sir.
I will require somebody to make me a presentment of the charging instrument on paper so that I may settle that matter. I'm here as settler, and I'm happy to settle this charge
We're not
right now.
We're not settling today's...
I'm pretty sure this is just an arraignment hearing, which is why it's, you know, there's a bunch of people here. They're all here to be arraigned one after the other very quickly on video. And he's asking to, like, settle this right now, which isn't how it works. You have, like, an arraignment, and then you get a court date, and then that's when you deal with the actual issue at hand. And then if it's, like, you get found guilty, then you'll have a sentencing later on. So... this guy doesn't understand what he's doing.
It's not the day to settle matters for these kind of charges, all right? We don't settle them today, all right?
May I say something else for the record, sir?
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. I am secured party under a UCC filing at the Secretary of State 201-308-717-006.
Okay.
I am secured party to David Hall on the record.
Daddy Sume with a bit says, other people are like, oh my god, stop pissing off the judge, I want to go back to my cell. That's always the funniest. I've seen one of these that's similar in setup in that it's like a video conference arraignment or something, and the guy who's doing the thing is so stupid, you can see like the other inmates behind him laughing.
And through a filing at the Secretary of State, sir. I appear here today as the settler, agent, not the person, but the individual. And I don't think I should have... You understand the difference between a person and an individual.
And you're the individual, but you're not the person. Is that correct?
Correct.
They believe, and again, this is going to depend on... They think that person, all capitals, is a separate thing from you, the individual. So if you have, like, your birth certificate, say your name is John Hancock, and you have a birth certificate, then there is you... the individual John Hancock, and there is the person John Hancock that is your birth certificate. They believe that the government has authority over that legal entity, and you are the representative of said legal entity. They also sometimes believe that on the day of your birth, a bank account is opened in the name of your corporate strawman person, the birth certificate, worth like $2 million. And they think that they can somehow access this $2 million account. So sometimes they'll get like traffic tickets. And they'll, instead of paying the traffic tickets like a normal person or taking it to court to handle, they'll put what they think is the bank account number. And what they think the bank account number is it's like a number on the back of your social security card or something. None of this is true, obviously. I shouldn't have to say that, but just in case. None of this is true. And they're like, pay from account, and then they'll put that number, and they think that that pays their traffic ticket or their fines or whatever they might have. And of course it doesn't, because this bank account doesn't exist. And then they get further in trouble for avoiding paying their stuff. It's just nuts. Thank you, Pickle Person Plady for subscribing. 2-month streak. Back at it again, folks. I don't have to follow rules because F you, I don't wanna. And PK the Lost, thank you for subscribing with a 3-month streak. 3 months, woohoo! Forgot I have Prime. Stop! You have violated the law. Pay... Sorry, I haven't played Oblivion in a while. Stop! You have violated the law. Pay the count... Dang it. Stop! You have violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are forfeit. When are they gonna remaster Oblivion? I'm sick of Skyrim.
Correct.
I'm gonna write that down. Settler.
Beer Maiden 81 says, I think it cannot argued that from a philosophical point of view you are given a name and identity by your parents, and that could be seen as an avatar that isn't actually you. I think trans people understand this the most, that the true self comes from within, not from without. So you could argue that the avatar you're given by your parents isn't the real you. I think that's a good philosophical standpoint. However, it still has no relevance to the court of law. I understand what you're saying. I mean, I'm trans. I get it. I get the thought. Like, there's a difference between society's identity for you and your actual true personhood. I understand that philosophically, right? But, that's just not relevant to, like, legal matters whatsoever, because the way they do this is they think that if they can prove that the straw man isn't them, that the court then has no authority over them as a person, which isn't how it works. That's not how, like, American jurisprudence works. Daddy Sume with a bit. Sky Oblivion. Yeah, I've seen trailers for that, like, fan-made thing. I'll pick it up someday, probably, but... Daddy Sume, Oblivion is being completely remade by a fan group in the Skyrim engine, though with Bethesda's acquisition by Microsoft, that might change in the near future. Yeah, maybe. Got any Moorish sovereign citizens? I can find one in a little bit here. Jake is wrapping up now. Okay, cool. Maybe you'll raid me. That'd be nice.
Agent. An individual.
Did you guys see that, by the way? I'm sure most of you did. Bethesda got bought by Microsoft for $7.5 billion. That's that's almost double what Disney paid for Star Wars. Isn't that wild to think about? I mean, I understand, because not only are you getting, you know, all the employees as your employees, not only are you getting, you know, the actual, like, facilities and equipment they use, but you're getting the IPs, and those include, like, the most prolific IPs in video games. Like, we're talking Fallout, we're talking, you know, the Elder Scrolls, we're talking, you know, Dishonored and all that stuff. But, like, $7.5 billion. That's crazy. That's absolutely wild.
But you're not the person. You got it.
I already have lipstick on.
I think, you know, I think it was last week you told me this too. And I was a little uncertain, but it's all become very clear now. Now.
They overpaid? I don't know about that one. Like, right now I think the most profitable game in history is Grand Theft Auto 5. Let me see. How much money has GTA 5 made? Like, GTA 5 has made $6 billion. Is that including GTA Online? I'm assuming it is. Like, and that's one game. If we're talking about Bethesda, like the next Fallout game and the next game that comes after Skyrim and Elder Scrolls, I mean, like, Skyrim is one of the most popular video games of all time, and we can, like, argue, like, yes, it's got tons of problems, and yes, they re-release it too often without, like, fixing tons of bugs that have been in there since 2011, but, like, whatever the follow-up to Skyrim is gonna be one of the most popular video games of all time. Even if it's not good, it's going to sell a ridiculous number of copies. And they're also buying it probably because some of these games are going to be exclusive for the Xbox, and it brings, like, prestige to their brand. So they go, oh, well, if I want to play the next Skyrim, if I want to play the next Elder Scrolls, then I gotta get an Xbox. I don't know. I think it's an understandable business decision by them. For pure profit, it's GTA 5, but Minecraft has sold more units. Yeah, I picked up Minecraft when it was, like, new, and it was just on its own little website, and it was $20. It's crazy. I bought it more since then for, like, the Switch and the Xbox, or not Xbox, PlayStation, but...
Okay, the settler, the agent, the individual, but he's not the person. Okay, so... Does the settler, the agent, the individual have any money in the bank?
Yes.
Okay, how much money does the settler, the agent...
Kyle Marshiku says, I think the Fallout IP has taken too many consecutive failures for the next one to be a huge success if it's made by Bethesda. I don't know. I was pretty disappointed by Fallout 4, but a lot of people like that game. Like, people who got into the series at Fallout 4 really like it, especially a lot of people like the building mechanics, even though I don't know. We'll see. Although Microsoft now owns both Obsidian and Bethesda, so they could theoretically be like, hey, Obsidian, make another New Vegas. Not literally New Vegas again, but, you know, same kind of thing because they made New Vegas. Just move the Fallout IP over to Obsidian. It would probably make Bethesda mad, but I think a lot of people would like that. Have I played Dead Cells? Nope, haven't played it.
Agent the individual have in the bank?
I'm not certain at this time, sir.
Okay.
Only that I will give it an affirmative that there is money in a bank account.
Okay. And how long has the settler, the agent, and the individual lived in Broward County?
25 years, sir.
Okay. Does the settler, agent, individual own any property in Broward County other than personal effects?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, does the person own any property or have any money in the bank? If you know.
In conjunction with myself, sir. In conjunction with myself, we both have. Yes. I'm the agent for that account also.
Okay, got it. Okay, so now. Okay, now, here's what we're going to do. The settler, the agent, the individual, and maybe even the person, David Hall, has been charged with DUI. DUI, while the settler, the agent, and even the person, David Hall, was out on bond on 2 cases, 1 felony and 1 misdemeanor, for license suspended. So the court believes that the settler, the agent, the individual, and even the person, David Hall,
I like that the judge actually he doesn't buy into it, but he plays into the stupid thing he's saying, just so even within the framework that this guy has about this crazy, pseudo-legal nonsense, the judge still stomps all over him. It's kind of hilarious. Speaking of video games, do you like Diablo 2? I've never played any of the Diablo games. If you did and didn't like Diablo 3, you should check out Grim Dawn. It's a gorgeous spiritual sequel to Diablo 2. Never seen a more beautiful ARPG. Never played it. Never played any of the Diablo games. So,
represents a danger to the community because the settler, the agent, the individual, and even the person continues to drive without a valid driver's license. In fact, a suspended driver's license in the state of Florida. And so that being said, the court is going to.
May I make a correction, sir?
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I'm traveling. You said that you used the term driving, and I was traveling.
You said the thing,
sir. Traveling.
Okay. All right. So the settler, the agent, the individual, or the person, David Hall, for traveling on a public highway or public road in the state of Florida, was allegedly doing so without a valid driver's license, and has done it several times in the past. So today...
This is alleged, sir?
Yes, sir, it is alleged.
Allegedly?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So today, the court's going to set the settler, the agent, the individual's bond, and even the person's bond today on count 4 at $10,000 because the settler, the agent, the individual, and the person has not stopped driving, even though the settler, the agent, the individual, and the person continues to drive without a driver's license. So, that being said, count 1 is $500, count 4 is $10,000, and the court will revoke the bond for the settler, the agent, the individual, and even the person of David Hall on 14-016-582-CF10 and 14-05-3909-TC30A. Both cases will cause the settler, the agent, the individual, and even the person, David Hall, not to be able to be released from the Broward County Jail until further notice of the court. So,
may I post bond, sir?
Well,
is there any other?
Are you asking me as the settler, the agent, the individual, or are you asking me as the person?
I respect the snark.
Sir, I'm asking, as the individual appearing before you today, about this matter.
Well, the
Do I
individual,
have...
the settler, the agent, the individual, or the person can post the bond. However, the settler, the agent, or the individual, David Hall, will not be released in any event because this court is revoking the bond on on a felony case and a misdemeanor case on the settler, the agent, the individual, and the person, David Hall.
Where is my remedy, sir?
Well, whose remedy are you asking for? The settler, the agent, the individual, or the person?
I'm asking for the
Wait,
opportunity...
who are you speaking on behalf of right now?
Sir, I don't understand that question. I believe that you're trying to confuse me now.
No, I'm not.
I'm
no.
simply separating myself from the person. They are two different entities,
Right,
and I know
but the
that.
court is not viewing you as two different people. The court is viewing you as
Well, why
one
not,
entity
sir?
for the purpose of these cases.
Then what entity are you referring to me as?
I'm
Because I
referring
think you're
to
referring to me as
the David Hall, who's the settler, the agent, the individual, and the person.
I'm not the person, sir.
Daddy Sume, you wouldn't do this. You'd just play a Rick Roll video, and you'd think it was the height of comedy. And sometimes you'd be right, but most of the time you'd be wrong.
Okay, when
I am
you
not
see the
the
person,
person.
David Hall, tell him he's not leaving jail either, all right?
Sir, then may I ask what my remedy is? Can you provide me a remedy so that
The
I may...
remedy is, you don't really have
I
a
will-
remedy where you could appeal it to the 4th District Court of Appeal.
How long am I going to be held, sir? I would
Until
like
another
to settle
judge
this matter.
tells you can be released.
I would like to settle this matter, sir.
We're not going to settle it today.
Then I'm being denied my... For the record, I'm being denied my remedy.
What do you
For the
think
record,
your remedy
my
is?
remedy is being denied. For the record, I am the
Sube says
real
I would
individual, and
100%.
this action is under color of law, and I don't understand this color of law action.
Okay. Well, have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you,
sir.
Come on.
Down the middle. Let's roll. It's over.
All right.
That's a good one.
Sorry about that, Mr. Miller.
Your Honor, I was expecting it, so I was well prepared.
Yes, sir.
Arturo Pinto?
I just wanted to make a clear record. That's all I was trying to do, is make a clear record.
Someday, Your Honor, I'm going to do a study and figure out exactly what's going on with all that stuff. Right now, it's just all a bunch of mumbo jumbo to me.
Whether you know it or not, I have been, I have a judgment for, I think, $100 million by the Sovereign Citizen Organization for, I don't know, something. But that was posted on my door a couple of years ago. So, Arturo Pinto.
Have you started making payments there, Your Honor? Sir?
Arturo Pinto, Jay Court,
Yes.
Robert Davis.
I like that judge. I like that judge a lot. Daddy Sume says, I've actually never seen that part of the video and it was glorious, you know. Alright, let's mix things up. Let's do a Karen. Should we do a Karen? Let's do some Karen stuff. Oh god. Karen Meltdown compilation.
Store at the mall. Go.
What the fucking address is on that? You fucking asshole! You fucking devil! You're a fucking asshole!
Oh my god.
Hey, you can disconnect all the lines on my account, you know that.
Oh, damn it! Not the kind I wanted!
What? I gotta see that again.
Oh, damn it! Not the kind I wanted!
That has to be staged. No one gets so angry they smash an ice cream into their own face. That doesn't even make sense.
Hey, fat ass, I'm trying to get out of the parking lot. I'm not that
Ooh! Ooh, boy.
lazy that I have to go through a drive-through. You don't need to pull through someone who's trying to...
Oh boy. I'm trying to guesstimate the number of procedures that have happened. Or is it just Botox? I feel like there's something going on in the nose area. I don't know. Or is she even... It almost looks like she's wearing color contacts. Could just be like her eye makeup though, making her eyes pop in a weird way. I don't know.
It looks like you're trying to cut me off.
I'm not that fat. I don't have to get in line and sit in my
Well,
car.
you have a really smart mouth to have 2 kids in the back seat.
Well, you know what? If you weren't so rude.
Well, I didn't know what you were doing. Thank you. Excuse me.
Someone's pointing
Excuse
that way,
me.
you're not going
I
that
can't
way.
see you.
Shut up, fat ass.
Oh my goodness. I'm not that whatsoever, honey. Get another injection.
Oh my god. Years ago, it's gotta be a decade ago now, I worked at a McDonald's. I'm so glad I didn't. I was in the back. I made the food. I didn't deal with customers. Jake is the one who dealt with customers.
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.
Thank you. El Bartra, thank you for following. Why get out of your car in a situation like this? It's not gonna help anything. I'm sure they're making your food as quick as they can. It might just be busy, or maybe they had to go to the back and get something that you ordered. Oh my god. 10 minutes. Look, lady, I've been to McDonald's plenty of times in my life. It takes a while to get the food sometimes. Chill out.
Jesus Christ.
It was right there. How many hats? I think this is 5 hats. We got to the 5th level of the hype train, so. Why?
Okay, just had my first Karen encounter. Lady called the cops because some kids were playing in a bouncy house and they were screaming too loud, like, okay, Karen, go back in your house and stop calling the cops for stupid crap like that. Let the kids play. They're kids. Seriously? Like, you don't have anything else better to do in quarantine than make me come out and risk contracting a virus? Because you don't want kids to play and have fun? Okay, Karen.
When even the cops think you're wasting their time, I think you've really effed up.
Your manager? Okay, I want to stay this far apart for safety reasons. How is this an essential business? Why are you open?
This isn't their fault. I think this is, I don't remember exactly what company this is, but especially early on during, I don't know what to call it, quarantine, but also certain states had guidelines where if you weren't an essential business, you had to close. There were multiple giant businesses, like this looks like a fabric store or a craft store in the fabric section. Clearly not an essential business, but they were claiming that they were essential. I think GameStop was doing the same thing in certain places. It was like ridiculous. But it's not the employees' fault. Like, it's not. It's corporate's fault. Don't bitch at the employees. I'm sure they don't want to be there either. I'm sure corporate said, look, we're essential, even if you don't think we are, and even if the government doesn't think we are, so you go into work or you're fired. Like, that's how this works. Welcome to corporate America. Daddy Sume with a bit. I mean, with everyone working from home and kids can screech really loud, like my neighbors have young children who they just let screech outside for hours at a time. Right, but like if you think that's an issue and you need to work, like, then talk to your neighbor. That's not a call the police situation. Like, what do you expect the cops to do?
But are you not putting employees at risk? I mean, I would just walk by the counters. Customers and workers
There's
are
nothing
less
funny
than
about the
6 feet
tools of
apart.
capitalism.
How is this
GameStop
helping
did
social
until
distancing?
Pennsylvania governor sued them to force them to close. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He issued a suggestion. The mayor of Cleveland issued a suggestion. So you're going to put money ahead of lives.
Ma'am,
The thing is, though, this lady's also in the store, right? Did she just come to the store to make this video? Or is she like, well, they're open. I need some fabric. But I feel bad about it. So let me make a video about why I think it's wrong that they're open even though I'm shopping there. Seems a little contradictory. Hey, Jake, thank you for the raid. Appreciate it. I imagine most people here have probably heard of Jake or have already followed him, but if not, go check out Actual Jake. He does tons of cool stuff over there. He was watching a debate Arian did a while back with, oh god, why am I blanking on his name?
There's nothing funny about the tools of
Anyway, super frustrating. I was watching some of it earlier at the beginning of the stream. Cupcake Chaos, thank you for subscribing. 5-month streak. David Silverman, that's who it was. He was debating David Silverman on, I think, systematic racism. And David was basically admitting that we are dealing with the results of systematic racism, while at the same time trying to claim that systematic racism doesn't exist. Very, very bizarre.
Can we order? You're making me uncomfortable with your verbal
Yeah, Arian
domination.
Foster, 74 Quinn, 74 says, for clarification.
Everyone that's here, that's the only person who's uncomfortable with me having my arm around my
Lady,
boyfriend.
you're making out while we're trying to order.
Step back.
Excuse me?
Step the
Why don't-
fuck back.
Excuse. Do not
Step
tell
the
me to.
fuck back.
Excuse me.
Step the fuck back.
Excuse me. Why don't you
Can you
step
call
the
the cops?
fuck back?
Can you call the cops?
Can you call the cops on him?
I'm getting all this on video. So we'll see who's harassing who later.
You're fucking your girlfriend in a public restaurant, acting like a prostitute.
Oh, Karen shaming someone for kissing. They were kissing, and she's saying it's tantamount to fornicating in a public place, when it's not. People kiss in public. Like, whatever.
You need to leave. You told me to leave while I'm in my order while you're making out with that slut.
Okay.
Aaliyah Bogwash, thank you for following. Bat, Cow, and Goat, thank you for following. Vajra, oh gosh. Vajraska HK, thank you for following. Sorry, I butchered that.
Okay?
Yeah.
You're such an airhead. You're so dumb. You're
Despite working in the service industry for 2 years, I have a shockingly low amount of Karen stories. Oh, that's pretty lucky.
actually harassing me. You and that slut.
Well, you are harboring a lot of shit.
Oh god. I think everyone's seen this one at this point. This was like the famous one that happened some months back earlier in the year. Feels longer because this year's felt like a decade. But this lady was going in Central Park and she didn't have a leash on her dog even though it's required. And then this guy was like, hey, put a leash on your dog. And she's like, no, I don't want to do it. And he, like, to teach her a lesson or something, pulls out some dog treats that he carries with him to be like, hey, anyone could give your dog anything. And then she calls the cops and is like, I'm going to tell them a black man is harassing me. Clearly the implication being that she's going to use, like, systematic racism against this guy. Really messed up stuff.
Please stop. Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to
And
me.
I'm taking pictures and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Why is she holding the dog like that, too? Very annoying. Just constantly pulling on the thing. Because she collared him after he started filming, I believe.
Excuse me?
Or put him on a leash, rather.
I'm sorry, I'm in the Ramble, and there is a man, African-American, who has a vice behind it. He is recording me and threatening me and my dog. There is an African-American man, I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog.
Why hold the dog like that? Just hold it like a normal leash. You're, like, choking the dog out.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man in
No wonder the dog ran to the guy. Yeah.
the Ramble. Please send the cops immediately.
Hello.
You are wearing lipstick. How did I not realize that when I came in here?
Thank you. But you're blocking the road.
Obvious logo for my university.
Probably a good call.
I'm sorry, my car is wrong. I don't feel well. I can't move right now. This got me so upset.
Number 2.
You can move the car. It's simple. Just move it to the side of the road.
She got the dog taken away. Yeah, well, reap what you sow. Well, 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 if it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
For you more than me.
Really?
Yes. So either apologize for giving your name.
Apologize for what?
You're very rude. It was 3 seconds, sir.
It was the light was red.
3 seconds.
The light was red. It turned green. You still sat there reading a piece of paper. Then it turned red again.
Kyla Kitty, thank you for following. Welcome to the
You know
stream.
what that does for employees?
But look, green's let it go. You gotta move out of the way. You can't just sit here. Look, listen to him.
He told me I left the door open.
Yeah,
He
Chet,
said
I
that-
decided to surprise Hannah and come up today.
He's a nice man.
Okay, then why are you leaving the door open?
And I'm going to stand there.
I don't know why you don't move.
Call the police or give
Go
me
ahead, get your
number.
phone and call the police.
Call your police. No, then you'll get away. Call the police or give me your number.
Then I'll get away.
Hold on. I'll get someone else to call the police.
Okay.
Give me your number or call the police or say you're sorry.
You know the number. It says it right on the side of the truck. Simple.
Call your number or I'll call the police.
Call the police. I'm not doing nothing. I'm waiting for you to move out of the way.
Apologize or give me your name.
Okay, I'm sorry for beeping the horn.
For being aggressive. Because we have enough problems in the
You're
world.
sitting at a
Jeff
green
Rule,
light.
thank you for following.
I was busy.
And you pull over to the side.
Looking at a paper? You have no proof of that.
I
Why'd
can
she
see through your
stop
window.
him? I'm
You're
not
reading
sure.
a
I'm
piece
not
of
sure
paper.
what started this altercation.
Dizzy and I got scared and said maybe the medicine's making me dizzy.
Then
so
you
I
pull
wasn't aware of
over.
the fight. You're kidding me.
You're not aware of the light when I beeped the horn at you.
10 minutes ago.
Oh, because he
He's being
honked
late
the
with your
horn?
packages. That's not going to help your employee record. Call the police.
I'm not calling the police. You call
Give me
them.
your ID number.
Tomorrow,
I'm
thanks
not
for
giving you my ID
following.
number. I don't have to give you my ID
I'm
number.
going to report you.
Go right ahead. You're blocking traffic.
I don't care. You understand? At some point, you got to stand up for yourself. Okay? And you were wrong. If I was an old
This isn't the time. Nope. People need to go places. People are probably depending on this bus to get to work. Could you not?
older person, or I really was busy,
Doesn't matter. You're perfectly fine. You were reading a piece of paper.
you keep insisting on that. When you can't just be a forgiving person, and believe me when I tell you, I was not reading for the sake of pleasure.
Or whatever you're reading for, it doesn't matter. You're still blocking the road.
Funny about the tools of capitalism.
It's a delivery truck? Okay. That's a little better, I guess. It's not good, but at least she's not, like, stopping low-income people from getting to their jobs.
You're blocking everybody. Why don't you move out of the way?
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
The best customers I had when I was a pizza delivery guy were prostitutes who worked at a roadside motel, always tipped a few bucks,
You're
says
pretty well
Lonesome
off
Troll.
I apologize for
That's
that.
nice.
You're still blocking traffic. I don't know why you can't just move.
There's nothing funny about the tools
Dr.
of
Gamble with 100 bits. 2 hours later, Karen called the police. Truck
just
driver,
move your car, it'll
ma'am.
be fine.
Ma'am, for the last time, you're blocking traffic.
I already said I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Here you go.
Thanks. Did you put the ginger in?
Yeah, we put the ginger.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Where's my ginger? It doesn't taste like you put the ginger
There's
in.
nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Sex workers are real workers? I agree.
You gotta put the ginger in. And it needs more ginger.
Oh, okay, sure. Here you go. We put extra ginger.
You put extra ginger in?
Yeah, try it.
Oh my God. How many times are they gonna have to redo this before she goes away?
Perfect.
Thank you. Have a good day.
I mean, that one wasn't too bad. I mean, that's just she wanted extra ginger, which, hey, she probably should have ordered extra ginger then, if that's what she wanted. I thought that was going to go on way longer. That was really light compared to most of the other Karen videos we watch. Oh, did he not put any in? That's hilarious. I guess I didn't even notice. That makes sense, though. Placebo effect. Oh, we watched this one.
That's a love. I'll be damn distance. Right now.
What's up?
So this
I didn't move it anywhere since you left. I don't think so. I haven't seen it.
lady right here won't let me get out of my way. She is all parked in front of me, being a major Karen, with her kids in the car, cussing at me, and want to say how she's just gonna sit there and drink her Slurpee.
Say it. No pomegranates. Come on. No pomegranates.
Do we do cleanses? Yeah, if you got a cleanse, you can send me a link. In fairness, I think the backstory behind this one was she was like a teacher who was, I mean, she doesn't like pomegranates as far as I understand, but she's being like a little facetious. She knows she's being ridiculous. She's doing it intentionally. Tommy Spanko, thank you for following.
None. I don't want them anywhere near here. Am I?
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Say the rule again.
To every child named Karen, we're sorry for associated with this.
Say it. Now get it, wipe it off my shit now. First it's in my hair, then it's on my clothes, it's on my boyfriend's shirt. You're gonna sit here like a pussy? Apologize like a fucking man. Yeah, it's over. Really? He can't stand up and apologize.
Of course, they were a Bruins fan. I don't get sports.
What? Come on, man. I couldn't hear you. Wow. I have it in my hair, on my coat.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Whoa! Oh, holy crap. Hold on. Holy friggin'
We'll work with you,
hell.
man. If you need to pull in here, I'll move out for you.
Antipodian
No
Squid,
problem.
thanks for gifting
It's not busy right
25
now.
gift subs. Oh my god, that's
can
the
drink it.
most I've ever seen an individual person ever do. Holy crap.
Yes, I've been drinking. I've been drinking a whole lot.
That's crazy. Thank you, Antipodian Squid. Antipodian Squid says there's a disturbing lack of subs in this chat. Not anymore. Wow. That's nuts. I didn't think I was gonna make this month's sub goal. Probably am now. Kyle Marshiku, thank you for following.
You are what is wrong with the freaking world today. People like you are so disrespectful. Girl.
Net Rivner, thank you for subscribing.
You were in my face like this.
Cleanse.
Hey, nigger!
Ooh, nope. Let me queue up some cleanses.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Do 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 do. DM Trey had a cleanse. I think I already had that one queued up.
Tools of capitalism.
Dr. Gamble, we need a gif of Squidward dancing every time Antipodian Squid drops that many subs. True. Look
nothing
at that
funny about the
kid.
tools of capitalism.
Daddy Sume, snipe, bitches. Did that just make you the stream boss? Yep, that'll do it. Captain Seculoid, thank you for gifting a sub to Captain Rachel. Alright, let's do some cleanses, and then we'll get back to either some Karens or some Sovereigns. Here's a D&D related one. I want to listen to this, because this guy's good.
About the tools of capitalism.
In one of my D&D games, we had this player who had really bad luck. He would open a door with a knock spell, and it would set off a fire trap, or he'd try to light a darkened room with a light spell, and it would just blind everyone, or he'd cast Spider Climb, and he'd end up stuck to the wall. This guy had really bad luck. Like, really bad luck. As in, he would get into trouble almost 100% of the time.
There's nothing funny about
What I found out later was that this
capitalism.
was the GM's doing. The guy running the game hated magic users. His position was, hey, I set up this set of elaborate traps, and then the wizard casts fine traps? Well, now he knows where they are. So, I've set up this plan. Anytime they try to use magic like that, I'll punish them.
That's awful. What? That's the entire point of the spell is to help you find traps. What?
After doing this for a few months, people will get the hint and stop playing spellcasters.
That's ridiculous. If that's the kind of DM you're gonna be, first of all, you probably shouldn't DM. But even if that's the case, just say to your players, hey guys, I don't want to balance for magic users, which is lazy and is cutting out like half the classes in the game. But let's say that's what you want to do. Fine, but at least be upfront about it. Don't try and like sneakily punish people for playing classes they want to use. Like what? The game is balanced for having magic classes. The spells are already balanced. Potential cleanse. Okay, I'll cue this one up too. Vaping a Carolina Reaper pepper? Oh no! That's dangerous. Okay, this is only less than a minute. We'll watch this real quick. Vaping a Carolina Reaper pepper. You could wind up, like, in the hospital for that. That seems like a really bad idea. That's gonna mess up your respiratory system.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Oh, zero chance that's what this is. There's no way that vape juice was produced from any sort of hot pepper. He's recovering way too quickly.
Oh my god, my lungs are on fire.
No.
There's nothing funny about
this
the
title's a
tools of
lie.
capitalism.
Like, if you tried to do that for real and you, like, distilled out, like, vape
There's nothing
juice
funny about the tools of
from an actual, even just, like, a normal hot pepper, not even something that's, like, that crazy hot, it would mess you up. And partway into your inhale, your lungs would be like, no, not happening. This is a lie.
Of capitalism.
Wow, it's still going with, like, the... with all the announcements because of so many subs.
It is.
Oh, that he might have just snorted it though. That might have been for real. That.
There's a little bit left on the plate.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe that.
And I responded, why don't you just talk to the players about it? Ben, he said, shaking his head. I know you're new to RPGs, but let me teach you something.
That's why I don't believe it.
GMs aren't supposed to be interfering like that.
Okay, but it's not interfering to punish people for them using certain classes you don't like? Right. Looks like my ex, but 5 years on meth. Yikes, 74, Quinn 74.
It's rude to mess with the player's autonomy. Funnily enough, his plan backfired, and it just causes magic users to try harder and blow multiple spells on one thing. I don't blame the players for being confused, though, because he had some odd exceptions to the rules. He was fine with healing spells, he just had a problem with spells that, Besides, he didn't have any issues with his villains using magic. Like, there was one humorous moment where the enemy gave himself an extra action and summoned a dozen flaming swords that hit me without a save for over 100 points of damage and instantly killed my character. Was I upset about this? No. I wasn't. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. The thing I'm getting at here is, don't use in-game mechanics to punish the players for out-of-game decisions. This advice goes for players as well. We had a thief character who kept stealing from the party. So, one day he gets caught and killed. Out of character, we were sick of his thief, but didn't say anything to him. Do you know what happens? The guy just rolls up an even more min-max thief saying, "This time I'm just not gonna get caught." And I'm kind of kicking ourselves, like, what did we think was gonna happen? He was gonna roll up like a paladin and be lawful good because now he has seen the error of his ways? No, he's just, you know, people take it as a challenge. Some of you might say, well, what if I ask them and they don't follow the rules? First off, hear them out, because they might have legitimate reasons for what they want to do. Otherwise, if you say something like, there aren't any angels in this world, and someone brings an angel to the table, I'm afraid you might not be able to play with them if they're just going to bypass the rules like that. Whatever you do to solve that problem is up to you. That's not what this video is about. But for the love of God, don't do this weird shit where you don't talk to them and instead say, oh yeah, sure, you can play as an angel. But since you're playing as an angel, you have a celestial curse upon you, which means that you're going to be pursued by a pack of fully grown dire wolf sharks, and all of your rolls are a natural 1. Until you change characters, that is.
Some people are just crazy in terms of how they DM. And I'm not gonna say I'm great at it. I've done it very, very little, but like, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Evening, and I saw a little black.
Cute. Oh. Cute Getty. Okay. If you haven't already, why don't you give my YouTube a follow? It's where I post all my past streams and I do stream highlights, and there's playlists all done by category, so check it out.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Speaking of kitties, how is mine doing? Lupine's doing very well. She's been sleeping in bed with me since Baja's been gone. She woke me up multiple times last night just because what she does is she walks up and then she just like lets herself fall on you. She'll just like flop onto you, so that woke me up sometimes, but she's very cute.
Okay, state your name, please.
Rick Carl Smith, Jr.
Okay, Mr. Smith, you're here because you've been charged with the crime of license suspended in the 3rd degree, alleged to have occurred on or about the 17th of August, 2019 in Mason County, Washington. This charge is a misdemeanor, punishable by 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. I'm going to go through the rights. I want everybody to pay attention because these same rights will apply to everybody. If you're charged with a criminal offense, you do have the following rights. Those rights are...
Motley Minded Storyteller says, I asked Jake this question, but I want to ask you about tips for newbie DMs, like in general, or did you have specific questions?
There's nothing funny about
Antipodian Squid with 10 bits. I once had a DM who had an ongoing, consistent rule of no bards, just didn't like them. Someone decided to go against the rule and made a bard to piss him off. The first line of the game was, quote, a strange and mysterious plague has swept over the land, killing all bards, each and every one. Not a single bard remains. Then he told that one person to make a new character. That's kind of a huge dick move. I don't understand that, guys. Like, if it's an official... I understand certain homebrew classes not being allowed because they can be broken, and you want to make sure that, like, the game is balanced so it's still a game. But, like, if it's an official, like, Wizards of the Coast class, then it's been play-tested time and time again. And sure, you can always find some edge cases where certain things will be broken, but, like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get the point. Sorry, give me a sec.
nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Daddy Sume, just because I managed to bang the dragon in every game you run doesn't mean I have a thing for scalies. I'm just a bard, man, says Daddy Sume. Oh, God. Someone said they sent me a whisper for something, but I don't see it. So make sure you sent it to the right person, because I don't see it in my whispers.
First off, that you have the right to be represented by a lawyer, and if you cannot afford a lawyer, you have the right to have one appointed for you at no expense. That is a right you keep no matter what you choose to do with the case. All the other rights in review with you have one thing in common. If you plead guilty, you'll be given...
General stuff for DMs? That's... Okay, let's say... Oh, boy. Again, I haven't DM'd a ton, and I don't even think I'm that good at it. I think what I'm good at is doing weird character improv. And I can only give you advice in terms of that. And my advice is something that applies to all improv, and D&D has a lot of improv. And that is, you don't say no, you say yes and. And what that means in improv is someone says, like, some statement that escalates the situation, or that provides some interesting new opportunity. You don't go, no, no, no. You say, yes, and you expound upon whatever's been said. I think that's a good general rule for improv. And again, if you're DMing, you're playing a lot of NPCs, and that's going to be required. Outside of that, I really don't know. Let your players do what they want to do. Right now, I'm still early on in the campaign I'm doing, so it's a little railroady, and I really would like to get back to doing the campaign. We haven't done it in like half a year, specifically because of COVID, and we haven't been able to get together, and it's a shame. Or maybe they don't like it and they don't want to tell me. I honestly have no idea. That would be sad. I'd rather they just tell me. But either way, like, just let them do what they want to do, and work within that. Just be prepared to improvise.
Those rights up. The first of those rights are you are presumed to be not guilty of the charge, and what that means is that as things stands right now, the presumption is you did not commit this crime, and that will continue until such time as you voluntarily plead guilty, or the prosecuting authority proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt at trial. You as a defendant are not required to prove anything, much less prove your innocence. You have the right to a speedy trial. That means your trial must begin within 90 days of today. If the court fails to start your trial within that time frame, at least under some circumstances, you're entitled to have the case
Oh,
dismissed.
sure. Flavier says, that's true to a certain extent, but oftentimes DMs have to say no to certain things, especially when people ask about things they can or can't do with spells. For example, can I create or destroy water to vaporize the person in front of me by destroying all the water in their body? Yeah, I agree with that. I don't mean to say yes to everything they want to do, even if it breaks the rules. No, as a DM, it's still your job to be the arbiter and the rule keeper to make sure that people are playing within the bounds of the rules. Because at the end of the day, it is a game. And that's part of what makes it fun, is that, like, especially in regard to, like, magic, there are rules as to how it works. So you have to think creatively as to how to use your spells in a way that benefits you and fits within the rules of the game, right? So, yes, you need to follow rules, and if someone wants to do something that doesn't fit within the lore or the rules of the universe,
nothing funny about the tools
yeah,
of capitalism.
then it's your job to say no to make sure the game stays fair. But I'm talking more in general, like, terms of, like, we want to go to this place and do this thing. Like, there shouldn't be some dramatically convenient thing that happens that stops them from doing that, just because you don't want them to go and do that thing. Does that make sense? Like, let's say your players, you have a quest set up for them in this cave, and you put all your time into that. If they're like, we don't want to go to the cave, we want to go to the neighboring town and go to the pub and get drunk, like, you shouldn't put things there that force them into the situation they don't want to be in. That's more what I mean when I say, like, don't say no. MMO Addicted did a 10-bit thing. Emma Addicted says, one of my old DMs tried to force my character to kill her adoptive child. Like, she was always guarded but got kidnapped still, then possessed by a demon. My character offered herself up as a host for a demon in exchange for her kid's life, and he threw a tantrum, having my demon-possessed character cut off all of her kid's limbs because that was technically keeping her alive. The group fell apart after that session. Yikes.
You have a right to be tried by jury, and what that means is...
Jeremy's being a weirdo chud on the internet again. He put out a video on voter fraud. We'll probably cover it tomorrow on Chud Watch. I'll be doing Chud Watch tomorrow, but it might be a little earlier in the day because I'm going to be on the... I'm a guest on the line at some point later in the day. I'll have to check and see what time it is, but that will be happening. So I might do Chud Watch more around like 2 or 3 and end a little sooner so I can get ready for the line.
Judges do not have the legal authority to find people guilty or not guilty of a crime. Only a jury can make that determination unless you waive that right.
With Jimmy, I think it's the other person who's gonna be on. I'm blanking on the name and I feel bad, but let me look real quick. The line. Shannon Q. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be on with Shannon.
A jury consists of people brought in from the community. You'd play a role in selecting which 6 of those people you pick beyond the jury, and they're the ones who would hear the evidence.
At least I think it's tomorrow. I think it's supposed to be the 25th. So
applying the reasonable doubt standard.
It's one of those Amber Alerts, Your Honor. I apologize. Can't turn it off.
You have the right to remain silent. That means you cannot be forced to give testimony against yourself. You cannot be called as a witness against you.
It was one of the lawyer's phones going off with an Amber Alert, which you'd think if you're going into court, you're probably going to put your phone on silent, but, I mean, people make mistakes.
Well, if you choose to remain silent, that fact may not be used as evidence against you. You may testify if you wish, but you do need to understand that if you do, anything you say can and will be used against you, and these proceedings are recorded. You have the right to confront the witnesses against you, and what that means is that the state is not allowed, or the prosecuting authority is not allowed to present its case by simply handing out copies
Amber
of
Alerts
police
make a
reports,
sound even if your phone is muted? Oh, that's
or
weird.
recorded statements, or for that matter,
I don't think they
taking
do where
evidence
I'm
from a
at,
proceeding, but a
because I know
proceeding
I've had
not
mine
allowed
on
to be.
silent before and gotten
You have
Amber
the right
Alerts
to
and it
be
doesn't
present
make a
in court
noise.
when the witnesses likewise are present in court. Have those witnesses testify in your presence and have them cross-examined by someone on your behalf. That someone would either be your lawyer, unless you had waived your right to a lawyer, in which case that someone would be yourself. You also have a right to call your own witnesses.
Let me see if I can get ahead to when the sovereign citizen stuff starts.
Mr. Smith, you are here because of the fact you were charged with the offense of driving a license suspended in the 3rd degree. Alleged occurred in Mason County, Washington on or about the 17th of August 2019. This charge is a misdemeanor and is punishable by 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. Were you present when I went through the rights?
Yes, I was, sir.
Did you have any question about those rights?
Kind of, yes.
Oh, God. Okay, so this guy, look, I'm assuming this guy over here, he's sitting at the prosecution table, so I'm assuming he's the prosecution lawyer. This guy over here is the defendant, and he doesn't have a lawyer with him. So I'm assuming this guy is representing pro se, which means without a lawyer. If you don't know, you can technically go to court and not have a lawyer, even though one, you know, under the Constitution, it's been found after some rulings that you have to be given a lawyer. But you can say, no, I would like to represent myself. I'm moving forward pro se, and I don't want a lawyer. This is stupid. Never ever do it. There's an old saying that he who represents himself in court has a fool for a client. Even if you are a legal professional, let's say you're a lawyer, it would be a bad idea to represent yourself because you're too close to it emotionally. It's about you, which is why you get outside legal counsel, even if you were a lawyer. That's not even to start with someone who's never been to law school trying to defend themselves in a court, that you expressly need a legal background in to navigate. There's so much paperwork involved in going to court. I'm not even talking about like when you're in the courtroom and you're like trying to decide when you should object, if you should object, what questions you should answer, how you should answer them. Like, I'm just talking about the paperwork. It's ridiculous, and you have to file motions, and you have to file them correctly and make sure that they're done by certain dates, and if you don't do this, your entire case will fall apart. So never, ever, ever represent yourself in court. Bad idea.
Corpus delicti.
Yeah, for traffic stuff, you don't have to be given a lawyer. I'm more talking like criminal. In criminal stuff, you have to be given a lawyer.
In this case, is kind of
Traffic court is usually its own thing.
funky, being the state of Washington, as seems to be me to be a fictitious plaintiff. In a sense, I can't subpoena a plaintiff that doesn't exist as a person.
You exist. You exist as a person. You're here.
We're going to talk about a couple things first because what you're saying is gibberish. It's gibberish. You don't even know what corpus delicti is.
Corpus delicti produced the victim.
No, it's not. This is a thing sovereign citizens do too. They think that there's this concept in the law called corpus delicti, and corpus delicti basically says that in order for someone to be indicted or convicted of a crime, there needs to be corpus delicti. What that means is there needs to be evidence to the facts of the crime. So if you're saying someone stole something, someone committed larceny, and they took something, then there needs to be evidence that that happened, right? An example that's often given when talking about corpus delicti, like if you Google it, when you Google it, one of the examples is often like someone who is the victim of a crime. Like if I assault someone and then they go to the cops, the corpus delicti in that case could be considered the person who was assaulted saying this happened. Their testimony, their recollection, and the testimony that they provide is corpus delicti in that it is evidence to the fact that the crime happened. However, sovereign citizens take this one example and then assume that all corpus delicti inherently is the victim of a crime coming forward to say that they have done something or that something has happened to them by the defendant. That's not the case. Like, if your fingerprints are found at a crime, that's corpus delicti. That's evidence. That's what that means. It doesn't have to literally be someone the crime happened to. That's just an example. Antipodian Squid, reasons not to represent exhibit. Onision, you try to press charges against the wrong Chris Hansen. That was funny when that happened. Dr. Gamble with 20 bits. It was in that moment that the judge said to himself, oh no. MMO Addicted. Well, my character is doing good in another campaign. She's the mom of the group and recently adopted her 30th kid, an elf 20 times her age. My god. But yeah, sovereign citizens misunderstand corpus delicti, and they'll use it to defend actions like speeding or driving without a license because they'll say like, well, who's the victim of this crime? There can't be a crime without a victim. Not understanding that, like, for one thing, traffic violations like driving without a license are usually considered civil infractions, not crimes. The difference being that crimes tend to have to do with, how do I put this? Crimes have to do with, like, things you do to others or things that you are supposed to do within society as a whole. This is sort of thinking about jurisprudence and how it applies in American law. Crimes are like the responsibilities you have in society. In society, you have responsibilities to not break the law. You have responsibilities to not hurt others and harm them or take their property. Those are criminal offenses when you break those things. Civil infractions are more about responsibilities we have to each other in society. So, like, speeding, that's a civil infraction because we have a responsibility in society to not speed, to protect the safety of others around us. So it's a little bit different, right? It has to do with what is something that is a grievous breaking of the social contract in the case of a crime, and in a civil infraction, it's more along the lines of, we have responsibilities to one another and we enshrine these in civil infractions, but it doesn't reach the level of a crime. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Antipodian Squid. Reasons not to represent oh, no, already read that. Sorry. Oh, Lonesome Troll with a bit. So I know I've been here for a while, but what exactly are sovereign citizens? Sovereign citizens are individuals that believe that the law either doesn't apply to them because they claim that they are not citizens of the United States, but they are sovereign. They are an individual who no authority applies to them. But it's also an umbrella term that also includes people who use pseudo-legal nonsense that has no basis in actual law to try and get out of breaking the law. Stuff like this. This person trying to say there's no corpus delicti in this case, even though they don't know what corpus delicti actually means. Freaking Out 99. Last session, my dwarf friend drank 6 times his volume in beer. His con saves were so good, sometimes he got more sober. Then he went outside and sang Diggy Diggy Hole. What?
No, that's not what it means.
Definitions here.
We're not here to argue with you, Mr. Smith. So, before I get to the next part of this arraignment, we're not going to complete the arraignment today for a reason I'm going to get to in a minute. But is there anything else you want to bring up? Because
I just want to be able to have the victim present since it's a criminal matter, correct?
Here's the situation. I'm gathering, it sounds to me like you might be kind of dabbling.
It's a Twitter poll.
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.
It sounds like it.
Sounds.
Here's how it works. Pay close attention.
9802, thanks for following.
Simply because the fact there's no, quote, identifiable victim doesn't mean that behavior is not a crime. The state the state legislature has chosen to, which it has authority to do under the Washington State Constitution, to make driving offenses, including licensing offenses. There is no victim that need to be present. The only person that ever need to be present in court is any witnesses who claim they have evidence towards whether or not you committed the crime or not.
Diggy Diggy Hole. What is this? Can I play this? Is this copyrighted? I mean, everything's copyrighted, but like, am I gonna get dinged for this? But the poll says 55% of people don't think there should be a smooth transition of power. Yeah, it's a Twitter poll. Don't look at Twitter polls and assume they're representative of the population. They never are.
Brothers of the mind rejoice. Sing, sing, sing with me. Racial pick and racial voice. Sing, sing, sing with me. Down and down into the deep. Who knows what we'll find beneath? Diamonds, rubies, gold and more. Hidden in the mountain store. Born underground.
All right.
Presumption is you do not commit this crime. And we're not going to have an argument about it. That's just the way it is. So, at this point, my question to you was, sir, do you have any questions?
Old Minecraft meme? Okay. You gotta get to the chorus? Oh, God.
About the rights that I just went through. That should be either yes or no. Do you have any question about the rights I just put on the record?
Just the corpus.
Yogscast? I've never seen Yogscast.
We're going to try it again. Do you have any question about any rights that I went through today?
Constitutional?
Sir, you should answer the question. If you fail to answer the question, you may be sanctioned.
You'll be held in contempt if you don't answer my question.
No, I don't have any question or any questions.
No, that's not true either. You have a Fifth Amendment right to not self-incriminate. So if you're asked direct questions and the answer to that question would incriminate you, you do not have to answer. Let's say you broke into a store and you stole a skateboard. and they literally ask you, hey, did you break into the store and steal a skateboard and you're under oath? First of all, if you did, you're not supposed to say no, because you can't lie in court, right? That's illegal. You're not supposed to do that. But you can say legally, I plead the fifth. I'm not going to answer that, because the answer, the truthful answer, would be incriminating. That's a very black and white example, but nonetheless, it works like that. But if you're in court and they're asking you questions to move the case forward, you can't just not answer questions that are procedural in nature. Those are necessary, and if you don't answer, you can be held in contempt of court. You don't have a Fifth Amendment right, and I know they say, you have a right to remain silent. That's true, in the sense that you don't have to answer any questions that, are incriminating, or if you're, being interrogated by the police, you have a right to not speak until your lawyer's present. But nonetheless, in court, if they're asking you procedural questions, there you don't have the right to remain silent. You have to answer procedural questions. 74, Quinn74, a YouTuber from the Yogscast group would sing a phrase, Diggy Diggy Hole, as a dwarf character in Minecraft, and they made it a song eventually. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Did you understand your rights?
Yeah, I do understand.
Don't address courts as yes. Yes, no, yes, Your Honor, no, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand my rights.
Okay.
Sounds like an angry teenager who's being, questioned by his parents.
You can turn the phone off because you're not a lawyer.
I requested permission.
I know that. What else do you need to address today that you need research for?
I don't need research for
Then turn the phone off. Now.
The court near me doesn't even allow you to bring phones into the building, much less in the courtroom. Probably different for lawyers than it is for jurors, but I'm just saying the vast majority of people who go into the building aren't allowed to bring their phones. Skjald Menerik with a bit. And then the band Windrose picked it up and made a really great cover of Diggy Diggy Hole.
Turn the phone off now, or you're going to go into jail for contempt of court.
Okay.
Bring it up and show the clerk.
Act like a kid, get treated like a kid.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
He said, turn off my phone now, like my English teacher did in junior year. Yeah, has the same energy.
Okay. This is what we are going to do today. The court is going to reset this arraignment for 1 week from today at 1:30. You will need to be here. The reason for that is because the trooper, in his infinite wisdom, only wrote in his probable cause affidavit, stop for no license plate, no trip permit. That doesn't tell me anything, and I can't make a finding. That there's probable cause for this charge to go forward. So the only authority I have in this case at this time is to require that you come back to court on a later date. Do you have anything else you need to address today?
I have nothing else I need to address.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Asking the question, that question, I didn't mean to offend you.
You're not offending me, but I'd suggest either we learn.
Means the DNA of the soul.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Greed, despair,
I don't even know what game this is from.
shit. Is that a meme? Now there's a pretty meme. Exquisite.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Kathy7407 with 100 bits. If a dude in his 40s says to a woman, you look very young upon seeing a picture, does that mean he's panicking that you're underage? M30, look a bit younger maybe. Maybe. I have no idea. MST3K fan 77, I miss the spooky ghosts. I'd honestly feel better if a literal spooky ghost was in my room right now as opposed to a sovereign citizen.
A lot of law real
Metal
quick.
Gear Rising. Okay.
See about being represented.
I haven't played the Metal Gear games.
Just had the issue in Thurston.
You just have an issue in Thurston?
I had an issue in Thurston too that had to do with the same issue.
I've heard they're good. I don't know.
Well, one thing I don't do here is I'm going to listen to any legal argument that's a valid legal argument. That doesn't mean whether I agree with it or not, but whether it's well-founded. Corpus electi, for your information, involves a requirement that before a defendant's confession, you can shut your book, I'm telling you what it is, and I've been practicing law for 37 years. And corpus delicti is a requirement that before, in the state of Washington, a person's confession to a crime can be admitted. There has to be some independent evidence that the crime charged actually occurred. So you don't get convicted based on confession alone. That's what it means in the state of Washington. It's a minority rule, quite frankly. Many states don't have that kind of
There's nothing funny about the tools of
I'm not going to
capitalism.
hear an argument from you about
Lonesome Troll for Halloween. I'll go as a sovereign citizen.
corpus delicti or produce a
Get like a cardboard box to like wear that looks like a car, and then put like a fake like sovereign citizen license plate on the back, and then like go up to people and be like, "Why are you stopping me, officer? I'm traveling." No one will get it, but I'll think it's hilarious.
victim on a driving license, spend a third, and you're on notice. I'm already ruling we don't need to have a quote victim. Come forward.
I might be penalized if I don't sign.
I'll have you thrown in jail if you don't. That sound like a penalty?
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Consider the costume done. Make that costume and send me a picture. Cardboard box. Oh God.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Snake, the R&D team came up with something new. What's this? It's a cardboard tank. It's got enough room for 2 people. Same as any other cardboard box. Apparently the guy in front drives, and the guy in back is the gunner.
Hold on, Kaz. Who the hell came up with this thing?
I'm sorry, boss. He meant well, I swear. I know it's nowhere as good as a real tank, but still.
It's brilliant!
Huh?
The perfect synthesis of stealth and attack power. Compact, elegant design. The finest example of a weapon I've ever seen. Seriously, Kaz, I need to meet the guy who made this. I want to shake his hand.
You serious? Snake, look at it.
It's a masterpiece, in every sense of the word. You don't agree?
No,
What is that? A tank? I like it.
Paz?
I hate tanks, but this one I think I could get used to.
What?
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
MST3K fan 77 with 100 bits. I remember when I climbed into a cardboard box and pretended it was a rocket ship.
Let me see it.
Did you guys see Tom Cruise is going to space? Tom Cruise journey to space for his movie is getting real. SpaceX and NASA are teaming up with Tom Cruise to send Tom Cruise to the ISS to shoot a movie. They're planning on doing it. And honestly,
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
I don't know how I feel about it. It's weird. It's weird that Tom Cruise is going to be in space. I don't know how I feel about it. Spaceman Spiff. Dr. Gamble, great. And now has Metal Gear memes has become the new Rickroll on Hannah's stream. Hopefully he stays there.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Kyla Kitty, when I was turning 9, I assume you sent that too soon accidentally.
That you feel like you're under duress. Sign the order.
He's going to the one place not corrupted by capitalism. Space!
Sign the order. You're ordered to do so. If you don't, it's contempt of court. The record already reflects you feel like you're under duress. You're not under duress, but you are under court order to sign the order.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
trying to sneak around.
There's nothing funny
But
about
I'm
the
dummy
tools of
thick.
capitalism.
And the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
Palian Drone, thank you for following.
Escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Space!
Oh, that's good.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Have a seat. You're in contempt of court. Maximum penalty for contempt of court is 30 days in
There's
jail
nothing
and a
funny
$500
about the tools
fine.
of capitalism.
I will give you an opportunity to purge yourself of that contempt. I told you, purge means to make the contempt go away.
Am I going to be on the line soon? I'm pretty sure I'm doing it tomorrow. Why? Did it get tweeted out that I'm supposed to be there today?
right, capitalistic
If so, then I gotta get ready. Yeah, this says 10:25, so I think tomorrow I'm going to be on the line. At least that's what the tweet message says.
Okay, I told you simply to sign your name. All you're doing by signing this is acknowledging you know when your next court date is. Now, your choice is you can either sign this as I told you, just your name, or you can...
There's
be
nothing
taken
funny
into
about the
custody.
tools of
Which you prefer.
capitalism.
Ammo addicted with 10 bits. Honestly, Hannah, are my Metal Gear Solid memes better or worse than Rick Rolls?
doesn't
At least
take
there
away or-
there's variety.
Signing
It's
this
not
does
just
not
the
take
same
anything away from
thing
you
every
as far as
time.
Sir, it's
Because I
merely-
just told you to, because it gives you notice when your next court date is.
It only acknowledges that you received a copy of that order telling you when your next court date is in open court. That's
Even the prosecution's like, dude, come on. Don't go to jail for 30 days for not signing this
There's nothing
stupid
funny about the
document.
tools
Just
of
sign it.
capitalism.
Some serious shade being thrown your way. Well, sorry, Daddy Sume.
all it does.
So I'm not going to play games in this regard, which I don't
There's nothing funny about the tools of
You're going to
capitalism.
either sign that order with
Flavier with 45 bits. Can I get your opinion on this spell trivia Jeopardy board? I want to know if there's anything else I should put on it. Yeah, I'll click on it in a sec.
without saying under duress.
Okay, let me see. Just gonna do one team start. Oh God, is this D&D stuff? Transmutation. What is the maximum range of an unmodified message
There's nothing
spell?
funny about the tools of capitalism.
Is it not just on the same plane? Where do I put my answer even? Oh, real correct answer. 120 feet. A message spell? What is message in 5e?
There's nothing funny about the tools
Does
of
it just let you
capitalism.
talk to someone in their head? Maybe I'm confusing it with a different one. Point your finger towards a creature within range and whisper a message. Okay, yeah. Whoops. By the way, I'm the worst wizard, so there's no way I get these right. What's the maximum weight that
There's
Catapult
nothing funny
can
about the
launch?
tools of capitalism.
Oh God. I've used this before. I threw some boxes at someone. Is it... I've only used the spell once, though. Is it 100 pounds? Oh,
There's nothing
I
funny about
really
the
suck
tools
at
of
this.
capitalism.
Can alter self increase the amount of area you can move in a certain period of time when you use it to give yourself an aquatic form? Underwater, yeah, that's like one of the main things you can do with alter self. You can give yourself claws, you can make yourself basically transform into someone else physically, or you can get like gills and webbed fingers and stuff. What? Oh, it does it only do... No, I'm thinking of Investiture and Wind, which gives you a 60-foot speed. I really suck at this. Why did I do a wizard for my first character? That was a bad choice. I'm thinking of sending, yeah. Someone tell me why there's a type of cardboard box called Gaylord boxes. No idea. Daddy Sume, 5 pounds. Yeah. How many additional creatures could you target with a fly spell if you upcast it to 9th level? Oh God, what level's fly on its own? I want to say is fly a 2nd level spell or a 3rd level spell? I'm going to say it's a 2nd level because it doesn't last very long. And then you get an additional person with each level. So 2. So 7? Oh, close. It's a 3rd level spell. I screwed that one up. Transmutation. Can complex items requiring specialized craftsmanship be created by the fabrication spell? No. No, you cannot. What? I'm a bad wizard. I'm sure the questions are good. I'm just real bad at knowing wizard stuff, despite the fact that my character is a wizard.
Or you're going to simply show it's been served and you're going to be held in contempt.
I missed a bit message. Hold on, I'll go back. I'll find it. Kyla Kitty with 15 bits. Saying this again. When I was turning 9, all I wanted for my birthday was a cardboard box. So my grandparents went to Sears to get me a refrigerator box. To date, it was one of the best presents I ever received. Played with that thing till it disintegrated from the rain. It was a house, a spaceship, a race car, a pleasant box tidbit for you. That's cute.
30 days and maybe a $500 fine. I would prefer
Pelican
you
Moose,
just
thanks for
sign the
following.
order. It doesn't take away any of your rights. It doesn't take away any option you have to make any legal arguments that you have. And if they're valid arguments, and again, I want to be clear what I mean by valid argument. It doesn't mean an argument where I agree with you, but means an argument that has some basis in law and fact. You're going to be allowed to put those arguments forth. However, at the same time, you're not going to disrespect this court, and you've been told specifically to sign the order.
I'm not trying to disrespect the court.
Yes, you are, and don't argue with me.
How so?
You can either sign the order, or you can be taken into contempt.
How so?
Sir,
I'm
you
not
better-
arguing with you. You either sign the order, or you're going to go into contempt. Which do you prefer? You sign the order without any editorial comment, just your name, nothing else.
So this is not a battle you're going to win.
It's a contract, right?
No, it's not a contract. It's merely an acknowledgement that you received a copy of the document.
The way the Jeopardy game is supposed to be played in-universe, the player can roll Arcana when they buzz in to try and get hints on the answer. Oh, okay, that's good. And I'm sure someone who's, like, more competent than me will be able to answer those questions. I'm just really bad at being a wizard.
Period. That's
All
it.
you're doing is acknowledging when you have to come back to court.
And it says that on the paper, so.
But to start signing things under duress and everything else shows disrespect to the court. I'm not going to allow it. So your choice is you either play by those rules or you're going to go to jail.
So I can't sign it under UCC 1308.
No.
Okay, here's how it works. You really should talk to a lawyer because your knowledge of the law is, to put it very mildly, extremely lacking. But I don't care. You said, I don't need to convince you. And I also know that you're not interested in being convinced. Are you going to sign it with just your name or do you want to go to jail? That's the choice you have. You have about 10 seconds to decide.
Can I sign it on recording under my name?
There's nothing funny about the
You
tools.
can sign your name. This
He's so
proceeding
awful,
is
the
being
prosecution's helping him, yeah.
Both video
Bad.
and audio.
And you could request a copy of the recording by going upstairs
This guy probably
to
has
the
a field
clerk's
day with
office
the terms of
and
service
filling
on
out the
video
form
games.
requesting
There's
a
nothing
copy
funny
of the
about the
hearing.
tools of
You may be
capitalism.
charged for the duplication process.
So my question to you is, and you better answer for your sake, yes, right now. Are you going to sign the order, just simply signing your name, or are you going to go to jail?
I'm going to, I guess, yeah, if that's what you're, I mean, yeah, if that's what you're coercing me to do, then yeah, I have to. I mean, I'm...
Sir,
Okay,
just sign it.
in a way it is coercion because there's a consequence if you don't.
MST3K Fan 77, I'm coming to the point where inebriation will make me post increasingly silly and asinine things. So good night, chat. You're all valid and super cool. I'll be watching, but I'll keep quiet. Have another 100, Hannah. You're the coolest person I don't know. Well, thank you. Thank you for the bits. Drink water. Drink some water. Stay hydrated.
Don't follow my orders.
I'm going to sign the order, then I'm
You're going to sign your name and nothing else. Anything else, you're going to jail.
You guys have,
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Imagine be asked, why are you here in prison, and you're replying, I'm a sovereign citizen that was held in contempt. Yeah.
Okay? The defendant has signed the order with just his name. He's purged himself of the contempt. So we do not need to have anybody come over. I'm not issuing any pretrial release conditions because there's no probable cause. The only authority that I have in this case
There's
is
nothing
requiring
funny
him to come
about the
back,
tools
and I
of
won't have any
capitalism.
authority to do anything else. If at that hearing probable cause is not found, if there's no probable cause, then This case is first appearance today, but the court does not have any authority over you besides tell you to come back, other than conduct inside the court. So you're free to leave unless you have something else you want to raise.
No real other issue.
Okay.
Sir, you better just leave, because if you don't leave, you're going to become a guest of the Mason County Jail.
Well, I was just
Sir,
Let him,
with
Counselor, don't let him.
directly, sir. I'm just communicating with him directly as a conversation. Calm down.
We don't have conversations in
Okay, what do you want to say?
I apologize. I didn't mean anything by it. I do research, and I'm not trying to waste your time, really. I just don't want mine as well. I work, I build houses, I got things to do.
Well, my suggestion to you would be that you should probably spend some time having a brief consultation or a longer consultation with a lawyer. Someone that knows the rules and knows how the courts work and what the law is.
Those people get paid for that, I know. It's pretty much a waste of my time.
Sit down.
He could have gotten up and walked away. He just had to have a little snarky thing, didn't he? Really? Why?
I purged the one contempt, but I don't need the editorial comment here.
I understand.
Don't talk, unless I say answer a question, don't say a word. I don't need any editorial comment on your part that this is a waste of your time. I don't care if you can believe it. And outside this court, you can say anything you want. You can tell everybody I'm the devil. I don't care. If you have a right to speak, don't say a word.
There's nothing funny about the tools
But
of
inside this
capitalism.
court, you're going to show respect for the court.
Dr.
That means when you're
Gamble,
directed to
so
do something
close.
in the court,
Yeah.
you're going to do it. And right now, what you're going to be directed to do is you may do one of two things. If you want to sit and watch the court proceedings for some reason, I can't imagine you would, then the situation may do so, but don't disrupt the court proceedings. Secondly, if you choose to leave, you may do so as well. But you will not utter a word until you're outside this building, and outside this room, then you can say anything you want. If you violate that, it'll be contempt of court. And because it's occurring in the courtroom, I have the right to impose summary contempt. So those are your options. Either one is fine, but if you start giving the court editorial comment about being duressed or being a waste of your time or whatever, we're going to have a conversation about contempt. People will respect this court whether they want to or not. You're free to leave.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Chickens. Okay.
He mentioned something interesting. Cypher is pursuing new research. He claims that what they're doing in Africa is the missing piece. A weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
He's off to his next class. Alright, I think that's going to be it for today. I'll be back tomorrow for Chud Watch, where we'll watch a bunch of bad right-wing takes. We're going to raid the Serfs. And like I said, we'll be doing stuff a little bit earlier tomorrow so I can get ready for the line later in the day, which I'll be on. Thank you to anyone who's new here, who got here from, either of the raids. Thank you, I appreciate that. Give me a follow if you liked what you saw. Yeah, I think that's it. So let me do the raid.
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.
Thank you, eClark0908 for following. So enjoy, the stream. Tell Lance I said hi. Found a massive cardboard box for $5. You get that. You get that box.
About the tools of capitalism.
Chat is valid. Have a good night, everyone.
There's nothing funny about the tools.